Hail, bird of prey. 5. Hail, Karuga.
Qapla!
Qapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm needing new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Esri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to an unexpected Bird Thursday open panel stream for November 30th, the last day of November 2023. And thank you so much, John Araki. I'll be right there, but Dr. Scotty posts, "This is better be good. I skipped my Thorazine so I could stay awake for Bird's unexpected stream." Dr. Scotty, I have no idea what Thorazine is, but it sounds important. I beg you to reconsider if that is an important drug or medical cocktail of some sort. I strongly advise you to take your medicine rather than stay up for this stream. But that's all I can say about that now. So I didn't want to forget. John Araki, with a 6-month membership super chat, says, "Too late now to abort." Well, I suppose that's true. And with a 99-cent super poop super sticker, thank you, John. Unfortunately, we still do not have a way to do StreamYard animations. One day, I'm sure StreamYard will add the feature, but alas, not yet. LDG's in the house, says early and nice. Gorilla says Qapla, gotta plurk, okay. I'm sure he means he's gotta lurk. Captain Phantom Nerd says greetings. Dave G Sound says hello to Karoga. Hello, Dave G. LDG waves, and Gorilla does correct himself with lurk. I put up the link for anybody to join the panel today. I realized this last time I did Unexpected Bird stream, I had all intents to make it an open panel stream, but I ended up just talking and talking and talking, and I never put up the link, and I don't think anybody ever cared. But today, I would love to have a open panel discussion We can talk about Star Trek. We can talk about whatever you guys generally want to talk about. I mean, I prefer not to talk about things I don't give a shit about, but if other people want to talk about it, whatever. You want to talk about Doctor Who, talk about Doctor Who. I don't care. Just find somebody else who wants to talk about it. And it won't be me, but you get two people who want to talk about it, that's all you need. We'll go. We'll see where the stream takes us. And hopefully it takes us to somewhere where Dr. Scotty doesn't mind giving up his Thorazine. What did you say, Mamo Frey? Stream could take us anywhere. A river, an island, a ford, a fjord. Dave G. Sound says, yay, Bird. Hakeem says, wow, another early stream. Hope you're doing well, Bird. Well, Hakeem, it's that I'm doing better earlier in the day. John O'Reilly says, is this stream Bird just woke up or Bird hasn't gotten to sleep? No, I did get some sleep last night. Not thankfully. Thankfully. Hopefully it will be even better tonight. Hopefully. You're a good talker, Bird. Thank you, Dave G. I also, surprisingly, am a good listener. Not at the same time. Scotty R37 says, Bird ahoy, and hail that there. Karogas ahoy, Scotty. Hope you're doing well, sir. John Aragi says, Bird only wants to talk about Crystal Skull. Nope, hashtag fake news. Fake news. Dave G says, so the thing about Doctor Who is, you son of a bitch. Yvette, the lovely Yvette, says, good evening, Bird and everyone. Just got home from the hospital. What have I missed? Nothing here, Yvette. We just started, and there is nothing all that important to talk about. Although John Araki, actually, yeah, okay. So, Yvette, we hope everything, best with your mom. But obviously, probably not something I want to talk about. Mama Pray, it appears somebody is hanging out on the front porch. I don't know. We just got mail, and there's somebody that just was hanging out on the front. Oh, it was the mailman. He was on his phone. Oh, he was just doing something on his cell phone. Okay, but he left mail. Sorry. So John Araki suggests talking about Kissinger, and then ironically puts in Z's, as in like, yeah, that's not going to be particularly interesting to talk about. However, Rox, you're here.
I figured if you're going to have a surprise stream, we could have a surprise stream where I kick your ass at poker.
Oh, you're going to kick my ass at poker?
Did I stutter?
You did not.
Is it like rubber balls bounce against the wall?
Like tennis balls.
Tennis balls too. All kind of balls up against the wall. Here's a question for you. What do you call nuts on a wall?
Nuts on a wall. Pain?
Walnuts.
Son of a bitch.
What do you call nuts on a chest?
Chestnuts.
Very good. You're getting it. What about nuts on a chin?
That sounds wrong. Chin nuts?
A blowjob.
Oh my God. You see, you lured me into.
What do you call nuts on a forehead?
Upside down.
A tea bag.
Tea bag. Mm-hmm.
You're
welcome, LDG.
Maybe not the best time to come in after that joke, but
speaking of tea bag, here's LDG.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stanley, I know what's up, dog.
Elihu is in the chat. Says, you may ask yourself, what is that beautiful house? You may ask yourself, where does that highway go? You may also ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? You may say to yourself, my God, what have letting the days go by? What? My God, what have?
It's a song.
Oh, it's a song.
Yeah, it's a Talking Head song. Letting the days go by, letting the water blow me down.
Sorry. Stan Lee says Doctor Who was a special, and thought Rose's skirt might have been a bit too short for a BBC program. And he
Rose's
also
skirt can never be too short.
You saw Rose's balls in a few shots. I guess I'm not so sure what Doctor Who thing was. Dave G. Sound says, I know you're all tired about this, but I did audio for Henry Kissinger too. Huh. Didn't Kissinger drop his eyeglasses in a toilet once? Asked Stanley, and Stanley knew it was walnuts. But John Araki says it sounded more like a lisp than a stutter. Oh, rock solid. The point was, of all the things,
of all the things he's lost before,
I actually did get ready a little spiel about Henry Kissinger. If nobody had shown up, if nobody had anything about to talk about, we would have been talking about Kissinger.
So hang on here, because we need to address this, because you said this yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the term imposter syndrome?
Yes.
Okay. Why is yours so strong? And it's, I'm legit trying to understand this, because do you realize, and you guys all know, and for those who have never heard me before, while I care about numbers for myself, they don't mean a damn thing as far as quality of the person. You know, the fact that I have X number of subs, Bird has X numbers, doesn't mean a damn bit of difference for either of us as far as the quality of human being. You get more people to your live streams than I get to mine at a channel that's...
Yeah, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. And I feel like it's
because people want to see you live. Appreciate the fact that people appreciate you.
I do. I appreciate it. I really do. And I feel terrible because I know I'm not providing the quality entertainment I did 3 years ago.
Now, that's a lie, because we all know you never provided quality entertainment. Hey-oh, the real asshole showed up.
That's what I like. That's what I like about you, rock solid.
But no, I mean, people, whenever... So there's a few things. People want to hear what you have to say, right, wrong, or indifferent. They want to hear your take on things. Second of all, people care about your overall well-being. So anytime we see you live, we're glad to know that you, this may sound morbid, but with what just happened to me yesterday, we're glad to know that you're still here.
Yeah.
So from the bottom of my heart, knock that shit off.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate that. I accept it, and I will do better.
But I swear to God, if you ever say, okay, Dad, to me, I will bitch slap you because I ain't that much older than you. I am older, but not that much.
But that's not really the way my brain thinks, so I don't think you ever have to worry about me saying that.
But that's
Except
a
for the
dad
fact
thing
that
to
you just
say.
pointed it out. So.
But to my point, that's a very dad thing to say.
I know, and had you never pointed it out, it never would have crossed my mind to say it.
Well, and you have to also remember, just like Ty said in Caddyshack, no, you're a tremendous slouch.
Who?
Ty from
I've seen Caddyshack.
Chevy
I don't
Chase's
remember the
character.
names.
Chevy Chase's character.
Okay.
No, Danny, you're a tremendous, or no, Judge, you're a tremendous slouch. That's what it was. He said to Judge Smalls. Smalls.
Hello, Deej.
Good morning, Bird. Good morning, LPG. Good morning, Dad.
Yeah.
Listen, you're older than I am, so screw you, boomer.
Not a boomer, I'm Gen X.
Okay, boomer. And fuck the Cubs.
I know. I just had to come up here so you could yell that at me.
Did the Cubs win?
No, he just hates the Cubs, and it gives him joy to tell me to fuck the Cubs.
And our manager, who was born and raised in Milwaukee, his dad worked for the team in Milwaukee, let his contract expire, which he has every right to do, but signed the largest contract for a manager in baseball history to go play for or manage the fucking Cubs. So fuck the Cubs.
Get it out, Rock Solid. Get it out. I'm here for you.
Hello, Schwario.
Stanley, to your point, Jadzia, not the what's the best way to put it? Not the great value version of Dax.
Hey. Now we're going to argue about Esri being hotter than Jadzia?
We're not going to argue about that because that is one of the biggest falsehoods you've ever spoken in your life.
No, I've spoken bigger.
Welcome to the Random Menace. John Araki says, Bird is drawing Biden rally levels of crowds.
John, why so mean? Why so much hate? You know what that deserves? We need some tennis balls around here.
No,
I can't do
no,
it
we
on
don't.
this channel.
No, we're good.
I can't do it on this channel. Well, I could,
John
but it'd be
Araki
harder to
says,
do.
I tune into Bird because of his trailblazing work, improving the visibility of lesbians all year round. Keely Chow, hey Keely. Keely Chow using a 3-month membership super chat says, the only thing I hate watch is the Auburn football game. Roll Tide. Welcome on, Scotty.
Ahoy. Hey, everybody.
Ahoy. How goes it in Scottyland?
Well, actually, pretty good. The sun is shining. It's about 10 degrees Celsius for our metric friends. And I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. I don't like freedom. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was Fede Alvarez.
Okay. Hold on
Has anybody seen Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead? I have not.
I have no idea what that is.
Is that the newer one that dropped?
Yeah, the remake.
No, I haven't.
Well, he's doing the new Alien movie that's supposed to come out next year. And the news that is being reported by the news is that it's supposed to take place in the 57 years between Alien and Aliens. And I'm like, that's cool. Apparently, Pop's seen it.
I was going to say hello to Pop Culture Curator, who's in the chat. Says hello
Hey,
to
Pop.
everyone. Hello, Pop. But I have no info.
I'm just curious what you think about a new Alien movie and what you think about it being sort of chronologically placed between Alien and Aliens. And if anybody had any thoughts on the director as to whether or not I should get excited for it.
Well,
I
I
am.
personally have zero thoughts because I think I've seen Alien. I don't think I've seen Aliens per se. Certainly not in full.
Oh,
I
wow.
might have picked it up a little bit over the years. I don't particularly care for Alien.
Okay.
Aliens was the better movie.
Not my cup of tea.
Well,
not the horror guy.
Fair enough. I just thought that maybe it crossed over with like science fiction horror kind of thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, if it's science fiction horror, it's still horror.
Fair enough.
And I don't generally watch them.
Well, if you're gonna watch any of them, Bird, I would say go watch Aliens. I didn't even know there was an Alien until years later when I started getting more into the series. Aliens is excellent. It's kind of like Empire that was better than A New Hope. I think Aliens is better than the original. And I would say less horror focused. The first one was very much horror focused. Where I would say the
first
second
one's the iconic one where the alien jumps out of the belly.
Correct. And that's basically where they got that Spaceball scene from. And
Right.
it was the same act. It was the same actor and everything. Yeah.
Okay, I saw it on Spaceballs first.
Yep. But I would say where Alien definitely played up the horror suspense side of things, very similar, I would say, in pacing and theming to Jaws. Aliens, I would say, and it would make sense too, because same director, very similar pacing and cinematography and everything to Terminator 2. So where, and very similar to where Terminator was probably more horror than sci-fi with, the Jack the Ripper type character that was constantly coming and you couldn't stop. Whereas Terminator 2 was more about the suspense, the slow, not a slow burn, but if you ever watch Robert Patrick throughout there, he tends to have a slower cadence as he's walking and going through. It's a more deliberate versus the all-out sprints. And when he does run, it's like he fell off of the car and he's trying to catch up to the back of it, for example.
Oh,
I think you would like it.
And
That
Aliens, you get the classic line, "Game over, man, game over."
Yeah.
It's not what I thought you were going to go with the stay away from her, you bitch.
No, I got to go with Bill Paxton.
I mean, they're both great lines.
And Eastland Burkholder gave us thank you, Eastland.
Thank you so
and
much.
Welcome.
Eastland.
Yeah, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 10 degrees Celsius.
I was going to tell him what the temperature was, but Eastland typed it in. Plus, I didn't want to interrupt anybody. So,
of course, Eastland says, "Is my math right?" I assumed it was. I didn't even question it.
The math is right.
You know what math? Vertasium. Does anybody watch Vertasium?
Yeah, I watched Potassium. Yeah, absolutely.
They did a video recently, I guess. The one SAT question everybody got wrong. It was a SAT question 1982 that everybody got wrong because they didn't print they didn't even give the right answer as an option. And I don't know. I guess I just thought if anybody had seen it, it was interesting, but kind of too much to explain. If you have any interest in math questions, look up Vertasium and look up SAT question. Everybody got wrong. I thought it was funny. Funny because nobody, they didn't give the right answer. Yeah, Mama was. Imagine how many lives would have changed. Well, the thing is, 3 people did write in after the test was over, and they acknowledged that they fucked up the question. So they took the question off the test, reran all the scores without that question asked. But that still doesn't help the fact that you had people waste time because it was timed tests. So people wasted God knows how much time on a question that had no right answer. So it could have changed. The reality was, though, pretty much everyone thought one answer was the right answer, but it turned out wrong. And only the super, super, super smart would have known it was wrong. And they were luckily, hopefully, smart enough to realize that an idiot asked the question and the answer that they probably wanted was listed.
So did you just say that everybody thought something was the right answer? Everybody got it wrong and they realized they were wrong after the fact. Are you describing the 2020 election cycle?
It's similar to that, but more so because this could be proven beyond doubt. Whereas the other,
I don't know. I think looking at the economy, it's there are not many doubts.
Well, surprisingly, some people would still doubt you to this day. And this other thing, apparently, you know what? I'm sure somebody will still doubt it to be the correct answer because it involved the math of a circle and pi. And I know some people don't necessarily believe in circles.
How do you not believe in circles?
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Because you're kind of a jerk.
What? Because of circles?
Circles.
Is this like a round? Is this a flat Earth?
It is a flat Earth. It is a flat Earth. Yes,
no,
I was making a circle jerk reference. I don't know what you were doing.
Well, I'm only one guy. I don't have enough people for a circle jerk.
Well, give the man a hand.
Hey!
Not in that. What'd you say, Deej?
I'll pass on the circle jerk.
No.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not actually sending out invitations, but I appreciate the offer.
The Random Menace says Spaceballs is a miserable and stupid movie. Like most of the movies Mel Brooks made. Ooh. Yeah.
Take away his wrench. That's hate speech.
Yep. That is hate speech.
Well, I don't know what he likes to compare it to. What are your favorite comedies there, Random?
It's a good question.
Well, hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but doesn't Random Menace also like Discovery and Picard? So I mean,
so there is
like you guys come after me, rightly or wrongly, for my dislike of the TOS TV shows. Loved the movies, didn't like the TV shows. But I mean, come on now. Even I have to admit that Mel Brooks is a comedic genius.
Well, don't feel bad. They come after me because I still say Picard season 3 was garbage.
Oh, but I thought that was common knowledge.
No, there's people around here that think it was the best thing ever.
I'm so middle of the road.
Why are you dogging garbage?
Hello, substance.
Exactly. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And
Airplane and Top Secret are phenomenal movies.
I think it is arguable by the time we get to Spaceballs that is better for a sci-fi fan as a comedy than it is as a general comedy. I would say that Spaceballs is probably the beginning of the end of Mel Brooks being brilliant as opposed to just being entertaining. I know that Robin Hood Men in Tights has its fans. I've never been one of them.
We're
really?
men,
I love
we're men in tights. Ha! We roam around the forest looking for fights.
And
I'm on the
History
east
of the World
side.
Part,
I'm on the west side.
Hey, Pop.
and History of the World
Hey,
Part 2
Pop.
is absolute garbage.
Hello, everybody, and I agree with Random Menace. Spaceballs is a scourge on society.
Wow, I didn't expect that. Hey, Pop.
I used to be a big Mel Brooks fan. I watched
Salty
him. It was,
believes that too.
yeah, I've watched Mel Brooks since the 12 Chairs. Yeah, it was over for him with pretty much Young Frankenstein. I think the beginning of the end was High Anxiety for him.
I
And-
do agree with Random Menace is that Airplane Airplane and Top Secret. Comedy was never better.
I don't know. The Naked Guns were right up there too.
Well, it's all the,
No.
it's all the Zaz team.
Well, the TV show for the Naked Guns,
Police Squad.
better. Police Squad was better than the movies, but
I still think Team America World Police is hilarious.
It's potty humor.
lonely.
If you won't pay your $1.05, who will?
Exactly. I think it's satirical potty humor. I'm not going to disagree that it's potty humor. It's self-evident. But
Airplane and Airplane 2 are certainly tops
Ooh,
in
Airplane
comedy,
2.
but there were so many other comedies though that are also just, I mean, there's too many comedies to say this is the best comedy of all time. But Airplane,
Airplane
sure.
2 is made by different people, right?
I don't
Yes.
care who it's made by.
Ken Finkelman
versus the Zuckers.
Yes. In fact, the Zuckers never saw Airplane 2, the sequel.
No.
But
Good
I
for
do,
them.
if I were to put side by side Airplane 2 against Spaceballs, I would say that Airplane 2 is probably my preferred sci-fi comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
I would
would
put it
too. Yeah, I would say yeah. But for me, Spaceballs is pretty low on the list.
It's fun.
I think
It's
it would. It needs a fan edit where they delete Mel Brooks, the part with him in it. Every time he comes on the screen, the whole movie
President
just screeches to a halt, and he has to come out with that horrible Jewish humor. It's just
How can you hate on a movie with Tuvok in it?
Tuvok.
I don't know
John
what that
Candy.
is.
I didn't
Tuvok.
realize that was Tuvok until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I never believed it. I always thought it was an urban legend.
How can you like a movie with Joan Rivers? How's that?
Well,
back in the 80s, she was funny.
I can't think of any other
Rivers
one.
was funny back then.
Hello, Jim's Landscape LLC.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Good to see you all.
Oh, Yvette wants me slapped.
And some would even say that Joan made some hefty enemies there towards the end of her life.
Johnny C.
She made a lot of enemies, but she got what let's just say a fitting ending.
I don't know.
Live by the scalpel, die by the scalpel.
Oh, in terms of the cosmetics.
Oh, yeah.
She looked like a marionette at the end.
You could dig her up right now and she's going to look the exact same.
Maybe thinner.
I thought she looked like the doll from the Saw.
Oh, no. She did. She did have noticeable work done. But it's kind of like Phyllis Diller as well. She made fun of her own cosmetic changes.
Yeah, but Phyllis Diller didn't look as bad on her. Sometimes they botch it and sometimes they don't.
And sometimes you take someone who's absolutely beautiful like Meg Ryan and completely mess it up.
Mm-hmm. Meg Ryan has a new movie.
Or Nicole Kidman.
Hello
The
to
swelling's
Canadian
gone down.
Spider-Man.
Canadian
and to
Spider-Man.
Darren Wagner. Welcome.
Darren.
Hey, Bird, you have a shared screen. Did you forget? Were you gonna show something or?
Oh, that was my Kissinger screen.
Oh.
I can get rid of it.
Kissing her.
Henry Kissinger died.
I know
the
that
other
was
day.
yesterday, though.
Finally.
100 years old.
I guess that pact with the devil finally came to fruition.
Wow.
I guess I don't understand the hate.
I don't either, I guess.
The only ones I understood the hate from were the leftists. That's the only ones I could see hating them so bad.
Like there
It's a good
wasn't that
Monty
much hate
Python
when
song.
Reagan died and he was the bane of the left's existence back in the day.
I think it's his involvement with Nixon, which taints my opinion.
Do you hate Nixon that much?
Well, I didn't really hate him, but I didn't agree with him either. But I didn't agree with the Democrats at the time.
You didn't agree?
I'm not either political party, so I tend not to be a fan of either one.
Okay, but like you didn't agree with what, getting out of Vietnam?
No, I agree with that, but I didn't like Nixon was a cheater and a liar and a thief.
He was a liar, but let's face it, by modern standards, is he any more of a liar than a president we've had?
No, that was taken in comparison to what we have now. No, I agree with that, but that's not going to make it any. It just at the time
it opened. Yeah, I grant you, it wasn't good, especially for at the time.
Well, so here's a legit question. Between Kissinger and Biden at their last birthday, who was most aware that it was their actual birthday?
Kissinger.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I tell you, I don't know if you guys watch what's his name? Oh man. He calls himself the senior political analyst on YouTube.
Yes. Walk, don't run.
Walk, don't run. Yeah. He always says the
terrific.
cat. Yeah, he is terrific. He always gets these video clips of Biden together, and like every week he posts them, and they're new video clips. And I'm like, how is this not on the news 24/7?
Because they don't want you to see it.
Do people don't understand what is going on out there? Like Biden
Do you not understand the narrative?
Yeah, when
I understand the narrative, but this is our fucking country.
When I speak
The man needs to go to a home.
He does. When I
The man needs to retire and be kept away from
12-year-old kids.
8-year-old.
Be kept away from burning himself and shit.
I agree.
Getting sandbag.
Whenever I talk Democrats or far left, they're either unaware of how
that's what I'm talking about. They're unaware.
Or they're in denial.
They're unaware. Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't particularly like the guy. I don't generally go Democrat, but there's only so much you can do. Like, it's time to activate your backup, man.
I know. But you have to remember, people. It's the Democratic Party that runs the country. It's not Biden.
And that's the problem. They have no one for a backup.
I mean,
Gavin Newsom. So better watch what you wish for.
No.
Well, no. I mean, that's
he ain't going to make. He ain't going shit.
Well, that's true. Because it's true.
Here's the thing. They're going to wait until the convention after there is no more primary. Biden's going to bow out, pronouns, pal. He's going to bow out, and they're going to go ahead and have Newsom at the top of the ticket. Mark my word.
Of course, they're saving him for the last minute.
They're not going to have Newsom because he's made such a mess out of California.
He's very popular. He's very popular for the Democrats. They love him. I mean, he even rigged the recall. No, he's very, very popular. They love his politics, unfortunately.
Yeah, he is the golden child right now in the Democratic Party, man. I would not. It's sure they know that they can't put what's the cackling the actual president Harris.
Kamala Chameleon.
Kamala Chameleon. You can see the moon with your eyes, guys.
The Ugandan giant Kamala.
And it's not going to be anyone from the squad.
Hey, JPs.
I think it's going to be Gavin Newsom versus either DeSantis or Vivek Ramsey or whatever his name is.
Nope.
I think it's going to be that
Trump.
chick.
Oh, Trump, if he decides to run. But everybody's, I don't know, there's so much vitriol against Trump. I mean, they're going to rig it again if he runs. That's the problem. They're going to rig it again.
Well, here's the other problem that you have is you have conservatives.
His name's like a verb. His name's like a verb now. What they've done.
You have conservatives like me that will never support Trump because he's an asshole. He has done more to destroy the conservative movement from the inside than anyone else in history.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose.
Sure, I do.
No,
because
it's
in the end,
people
he
who
doesn't
hate him.
No, in the end, he doesn't care about anything but what? Trump. That's the only thing he cares about.
Yeah, but
he is the ideal person to get people to buy into his vision for what's best for him and think it's best for everybody when it's only best for him.
Look at the economy, though. It was doing well when he was president compared to what it's doing now. At least that, right? And he didn't start any wars.
No, and the economy, here's the thing. He also benefited by the increase in the economy. So that was one of those, what's best for him.
Everybody benefits.
Right. So
when
the
the economy
Republicans.
does well.
Are you trying to say it was good for them? It was good for me and it was good for the whales?
Yeah, it was good for the whale.
Like I can only speak on Trump's presidency on one issue. I live in a different country from the American gentleman on the panel. And when Trump was
using that term awfully loosely there, aren't you, my friend?
What, are you Canadian?
No, gentlemen.
Yeah, but I'm here. So anyway,
what's that all about?
About. But when he was elected president, I got like a bonus at work because it was an American-owned company, and we got a bonus because they did a tax cut on the big company, and that company had so much more money that they didn't know what to do with it, and they decided to pass it on to the employees because they would have had to pay more tax with it. And so the trickle down, I know, I'm Canadian, fuck me and the goat ass, but sorry for the swear. But like, I don't understand how you can, as living in a different country, it benefited me for Trump to be president of the United States.
Right. But at the same time, you have to also look, again, I consider myself to be a conservative, not a Republican. There's a difference. So if you look at when the economy started turning south, it was because of Trump. Who started doing all the stimulus packages and everything? That was Trump. Who shut everything down? That was Trump. Because the one thing
Fauci. That was Fauci that shut
hold on.
No,
He still had the authority
to own it. Trump has
he
to own
had
it.
the authority to override Fauci. And one of the things, and where I was going with this culture curator, is the fact that one thing that Trump is terrible at is hiring people. Look at how many people he went through in his cabinet, in his staff, that weren't family, that either ended up. The man put his trust in Chris Christie. He thought that was a good idea.
Now, I liked Chris Christie back in the day.
Yeah,
I still do.
200 pounds ago.
Well, because you're a closet liberal. That's why, Bird.
I don't, because Chris Christie is one of those fucking rhinos. Like,
yeah, he kind of sold out.
Kind of?
Oh, he did.
Just like Liz Cheney, like the dipshit from Illinois, they all sold out because they're freaking rhinos, and they would rather side with Democrats than give up their power.
How many people you guys think are honest conservatives? Because I don't see them doing shit. I hear them complain and moan and groan, but nobody's doing anything. Look at Congress. All the time. I mean, they're letting our current president drive everything into the ground, and they're doing nothing about it.
Because he doesn't know where he is. That's part of it.
They're taking away our rights every single day. They're breaking the law constantly. What they're doing with children is ridiculous, but the conservatives do nothing but wring their hands and complain and do nothing.
Hello, 47 Yorktown.
And that's because why? The conservatives have just as much to gain as the Democrats. That's why I don't like either party.
Well, here's the thing is once you fix a problem, you can't use it as a cudgel against your opponent. That's why the border will never get fixed. That's why drug legislation will never get fixed. It just when you fix something, you no longer have it as an issue. So there's that. And, as far as not doing anything, at least for Deej and I, we live in the People's Republic of Illinois, where as conservatives, we might as well not exist.
Well, I guess we'll never, our country in the U.S., we'll never start manufacturing our own oil again, right? We're going to continue having it shipped from overseas, and that's why we're paying ungodly prices. Keep blowing up those pipelines, right?
JP's is throwing in RFK Jr.
If you've ever listened to him, he's an interesting guy.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing now.
But here's the thing. Think back to Bush the First when he ran for re-election with Perot. RFK Jr. could, if he does get on the ballot in 50 states, he could help whoever the conservative is beat Biden and pull votes away from the Democrat.
If it's Biden, that's on the ticket.
Well, whomever I still think it's going to be Newsom, but whomever runs at the top of the left's ticket.
I think it'll be Newsom too. He's very popular. And look what happened with China and San Francisco. Yeah, he's you believe me. I'm from California, unfortunately.
Hey,
and
Jay
I mean, the
Albrecht.
Democrats love him.
Hello, Jay. Welcome
Hello, Jay. Good to see you. It's scary, but the Democrats love Newsom. They idolize him, just like they idolize Pelosi. And we're all wringing our, scratching our heads, wringing our hands, like, what? Why? But they know why.
To be honest, I would prefer Newsom to Biden. I'd prefer Harris to Biden at this point, honestly. It'd be tough, but I don't think Harris would accidentally, set off World War III.
I don't think Biden has any control over that. I think it's the people behind the curtains. I don't think Biden has control over anything anymore.
And a lot of times he doesn't have control of his bowels.
Exactly.
Those are on his chin, right?
I honestly don't think he's aware of anything that's going on. But like you were talking about, Bird, Bird, how they censor all that out of the news where you don't see what's going on. I don't think he's been in charge since he was elected. It's the party that was voted in, not the man.
The party. Then I need to know who's in charge of the party.
Well, some would suspect that it's Barack.
I mean, we see them, his handlers, pulling him off stage, handing him cue cards what to say and what not to say. And they're not going to tell you who's doing that.
Well, here's the funny thing, too. If you think about it, how many times have we all seen videos where, he's done with his speech and whatnot, and he goes to the wrong side of the stage? You know that he does that, so why not just always have him leave the same side of the stage every time?
Remember when you were walking through a mall and they had that phone cord that would go between the mother and the child? They should get some sort of anklet that goes in the direction that he should leave the stage again, just so he's tethered. So he knows
shock collar
to go.
Yeah, shock
collar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Defibrillator. I guess it might keep him alive longer.
Do we want that?
I don't know, man. I'm not even American. This is all international politics to me.
Yes, we want him to.
Of course.
I don't know. I think
here's
week.
Electricity.
Right now, it's a weekend at Bernie's situation.
I think
here has been my theory is that he's going to go ahead and get halfway through his term and then have a medical emergency that they have to basically remove him from office, because at that point what happens is Harris would serve out the rest of his term and then would be eligible for 2 additional terms beyond that.
Really?
Yes.
Nobody wants Harris.
Haven't we reached that point yet?
Yeah, we are at the
halfway point.
But I thought they were going to do that after the election. But no,
nobody wants Harris.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that nobody wants Harris.
They got to keep him going up until election time.
If Harris had turned out to be halfway popular, then I think it would have been game over for him already.
Barry wanted Harris, so there's that.
Harris freaking couldn't even. She was the first one dumped when the Democrats did the primaries a few years ago. Nobody liked her.
An anti-derivative Jill with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Says Scotty, are you saying we need to put him on a leash?
I'm kind of saying the same thing that Matt Dillon was saying in There's Something About Mary. It's just we put a leash on a clothesline and we let him run to and fro.
I'm glad that he's on a leash.
I'm glad that you clarified that, because for a moment I was thinking that you thought that Clinton was still in there and, all the kinky shit he was doing in the Oval Office with the leashes and whips and cigars and things along those lines.
Don't smoke the cigars, whatever you do.
Well, you've heard that. What was her name again? What was the intern's name?
Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky, that she's pretty much voted straight line Republican ever since that whole thing went down.
I wonder why.
The Democrats left a bad taste in her mouth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hoover named a vacuum after her. She got mad and sued them.
Didn't she go after the Inquirer?
Yes. She went after everybody. Everybody was making fun of her.
Well, no, as far as for leaking the story.
Leaking.
Possibly.
Leaking, dripping, whatever you want to call it. Bubba's a virile middle-aged man. What can I say?
Show me the dress.
Yeah, she shouldn't have kept that dress.
Anyway, this is getting
She probably had it. She probably had it framed.
Dave G says, I know you are tired of this, but I did sound for Bill Clinton too.
Nice.
Not tired of it, Dave G.
Well, Bill Clinton played the sax. It's Animaniacs. Come join the Warner Brothers and the Warner
Sister Dot. Just for fun, they
run around the Warner movie lot. They lock us in the tower whenever we get caught.
But
we get loose and then vamoose, and now you know the plot.
Plot. That makes so much more sense than pot.
Yes.
Hello,
we're all
nurse.
Why does it look like LDG's playing with himself up there every once in a while? He starts shaking his head and he's
shaking my legs because I'm sitting down for long periods of time. And if you
You
don't
have to remember
move your
what,
body,
the way he sits on chairs and they puncture certain orifices on the bottom
my new
of his
chair
rectum.
is not
Rectum damn near killed
constructed
him.
yet, so I'm stuck on this little furniture coffee chair. and
You've had that
I'm
chair
literally
for what, 2 days now? You haven't put it together yet?
No, because I don't want to bring it in here. It's going to set up in the new office. The damn thing's so huge, I won't be able to fit it over here. So I'm just buying my
Chair
time.
is too
It'll
big
be
to
set up.
fit in your garage.
What is it, electric?
To bring it around the desk and then bring it around here, it would be a pain in the ass unless I built it right here, like I did my last chair. Remember the last chair I built right here. So when it broke, I just took it apart in pieces and took it out. But my office is going in the living room temporarily, so it doesn't make sense for me to build it here. To put it
Jill
out there.
says you should do a build stream.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a good
gonna.
idea.
Well, actually, I am recording my new office being put together, so you guys will see that.
Are you doing it like in stop frame, so we can see it all speed?
I'll play with it. I'm gonna play with it.
Well,
speaking of
play with it,
Neville, welcome
Gonna play with
Anti-Derivative
it,
Jill
folks.
to the stream.
Hello, Jill.
Hello.
Get him, Jill.
Build your
Wait,
chair.
we got a lady on the panel. We gotta straighten up now, boys.
It's important for your posture to have a good chair, so you should get that done. Hey guys.
Hello, nurse.
Look at that. JP's is thanking LDG for changing his topic when I was the one that gave him the opening to change it. Thanks, JP's.
Yeah, come on the
LDG.
channel and they killed the conversation.
LDG.
Yeah.
Are you not going to say hello to Anti-Derivative Jill?
I waved. I waved to everybody who came in here today.
He did say hello.
You wave.
And
I received
I
his
think I said
greeting
hello to you.
successfully.
Oh, okay. So now you're going to do your build stream. Like right now.
Not doing
start building.
No, I'm not doing a build stream right
Oh
now.
no, I don't mean right now.
If
can
you
do
build
later.
it, they will come.
Look at that coffee. Look at that coffee.
You know, you say that, but you have no clue what those words mean, DJ Bet. I'm sorry. Or you
I do. It comes from Field of Dreams, building the baseball.
Yes, but there's meaning behind
and the
that
ghosts
phrase.
come out of the cornfield to play ball. I know exactly what it means. Got to remember,
Richie Poole,
baseball field's
welcome.
only a couple hours away from me.
Hello, Richie Poole.
Oh, LDG. Let's ask this to the panel. LDG educated me this morning on the definition of something that I honestly had no idea what it meant. And I didn't look it up. But I'm curious if anyone else
knows
the
minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Does
Go ahead.
anyone else know the origin, supposedly, of the term "a New York minute"?
No, I don't live in New
Don't
York.
all answer at once. The meaning, like what? I mean,
Specifically, no, I don't know. I thought it was because people reference everything in New York happening so fast that you can cram a lot into a minute, but I could be wrong. I don't know specifically.
Is the use of the
Hey,
that is the
JP.
use of it, I believe.
Okay, I'll give you
But
the use. The
origin
use
of it,
is
I have no
the
idea.
amount of time it takes Darren to
No.
continue his conversation after someone else speaks is a New York
Okay.
minute. Sorry.
Right. So basically, everybody agrees that a New York minute is a very small amount of time. Like,
No, I'd say a New York minute is could be a large amount of time because New Yorkers do things at their own pace.
Mamo Pray took it to mean like an instant. It's not.
It's almost a.
She says it. She said, okay. She said it's not. She didn't take it to be. She's like, that's what it means. It's an instant. It's quick. It's
Yes.
very quick. It's not long. It's much
I
shorter
believe-
than a regular minute.
I believe
Okay.
I said it's the closest thing to the speed of light.
The closest thing to the speed of light.
So ladies, don't hook up
Oh,
with a New
no.
York guy because it'll be over just like that.
So, but to that amount, LDG said that his dad told him that it's the amount of time it takes for someone to honk the horn behind you if you're at a light that goes from red to green and you haven't moved yet.
So a nanosecond.
So, right.
Exactly.
So for New York City, exactly.
About
A
20
nanosecond. Oh, it's much less than 20 seconds. Like in all reality, if I didn't start moving the car after 4 seconds, I'd probably have everyone honking.
I've seen that in
yeah.
California.
We have a
where
bigger.
they
We
honk.
have a.
I've
we
seen
have
in
a bigger-
California where they honk as soon as the light turns green.
Yeah.
it's
in
New
Texas,
York.
we give you a little more time. We give you maybe like 10 or 15 seconds. And 20 seconds is when we're wailing on the horn.
That's just enough time for it to turn red.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't turn red that fast.
But
20
I guess
seconds
our
is a
lights are
long
just shorter.
time.
I guess our lights are just shorter. Yeah, it is. You know what? You're probably right. Maybe it's more like 7 seconds.
It's very, very quick.
It just feels longer.
It's 11 D. It's 11 D seconds. Hey, Joe.
One of the advantages of driving a standard is you're not really stopped.
Elias
Man.
says that was a Johnny Carson joke. Maybe.
was it?
Wait, I am getting some backup in the chat. John Rocky says the Texas minute is 67 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's because everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just makes sense.
Never been there.
Dave G says a New York minute is exactly a New York 60 seconds. Last Son of K, welcome, guys.
Hey.
Oh, they're good to see you.
Words and Pictures is here too.
I hear
Words
words
and
and pictures.
I think I missed saying hello to Words and Pictures. Last Son of K says, like a California roll at a stop sign. It's so brief, it's almost no stop at all, even if it's at a low speed. I don't think that's unique to California. I mean, people roll
California-
through stop signs here.
Or where the light turns red and they keep going and going and going, right? Mm-hmm.
Definition of a California roll is where you just tap the brakes at a stop sign, and you just keep going.
To be jealous. All your other states and cities would have right on red, but New York City did not. Even if it was just a right turn, you had to wait till the light turned green.
Sounds
right
like
on
Quebec.
red. That sounds awful.
You
Yeah.
could do lefts on red too.
No, left unread was
if it's a one-way, yeah.
Taking your if it's a one-way, but it was rare to have a traffic light on a one-way street.
Right. It's a right on a red after you stop. You do have to stop first, or it's considered running a light.
Yeah, New York City, it was just zero on red. So that would mean anytime we would go somewhere other than the city, we would just like sit there and not know that we could turn right.
Ooh.
And then people would honk at us like we're idiots.
Here, downtown core is every other street is a one-way.
Well, that sounds like San Francisco.
So it's very easy to do a left turn on red.
Right, but it takes you an hour to go 2 blocks. Right, that's same as San
That's
Francisco.
what was disturbing about driving in California was when I needed a U-turn, there weren't that many.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate cars. So they're making it more difficult for drivers to where people just say, well, I'm just not going to drive in that part of town anymore. They've actually said that.
It's so funny. And my knowledge of this is absolutely atrocious. But from my understanding, the entire idea of dismantling public transportation in California was to enable cars. And now they have decided that decision from 80 years ago was horrid. And now they're just reeling it back. And it's like, guys, you made a commitment. Come on.
Right. Now they want everybody on a bus.
Yeah.
Same in New York.
Oh, it's so strange.
They're taking away lanes of traffic to add bicycle lines.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people are dying being hit by bicycles, being hit by cars, but they're adding bicycle lanes and they're taking away lanes of traffic, and then they're taking away places to park. And they're like, yeah, well, this will make people have to think twice about having cars.
Right, which is also killing businesses.
And who the hell's going to ride a bicycle in the middle of winter?
You'd be surprised.
People with a DUI.
There's plenty of idiots here in Winnipeg that do that. So
yeah, they have.
And remember, all the people that are the ones that are controlling shutting down these lanes of traffic are riding around in limousines. Just keep that in mind. They're not going to get on a bus.
But in Toronto, they have like something called the Gardiner Expressway, and it has a lot of it is elevated. And part of the problem with it is that when they designed it and when they created it, they didn't anticipate the volume of cars. And so there's constant maintenance. There are 2 seasons in Southern Ontario. There's winter and construction. That's the way the joke goes. I'm sure it's like that in many places, but they didn't, when they said that, when they made the highway, the freeway, when they made it, they were like, there's no way we would ever be over capacity on cars. They can't make that many cars. Flash forward 50 years and it's like, holy crap, they made that many cars,
Well, I just think that if the people in charge are going to start taking away the rights and the privileges of drivers, that they should have to be living under the same scrutiny and get rid of all their limousines and their butlers and their chauffeurs and all that kind of stuff. They have to ride public transportation as well. I'd love to see Nancy Pelosi on a bus.
What shocks me is that they're still able to get away with this today, when it was only a couple of years ago under the pandemic that they closed all the mass transit.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck were you supposed to do?
Stay
if
home.
You had no mass transit and you had no car and there was no Uber, there was no nothing.
Right.
You were just fucked.
Stay home and be happy.
Stay home and don't go anywhere. There's no mass transit. There's no anything. And, then it was nice if you had a car. You could actually go and you could go get stuff for your friends who didn't have cars.
The 2 things that were really fascinating about living in Australia is that they have an amazing public transportation system, albeit I lived on the West Coast, so I'm talking about around Perth. But they had great rail and public transportation. But also, if you walked around, because it's Australia, you'd see classic cars. It was like you would see like 57 Chevys, and they would be in use for 8 months of the year, 9 months of the year. So you would have a car society as well as public transportation.
Hello, Admiral Teague.
Hello, and
Teague.
hello, everybody.
Hey.
Dave G says here in Arlington, they're doing the same, building people stackers on very old infrastructure, roads made in the Civil War and before. County board thinks everyone will bike, walk, and bus. I am tired of people saying why we need to keep adding homes to neighborhoods that were never designed to have all these houses. Who'd we lose? Deej? No, Deej, you're here.
Rock solid.
Here.
Rocks. Oh, Rocks. I hope he's okay. Like literally, they don't understand that the property, that the pipes were never designed to take the amount of poop, that's going to be, required if you increase houses that have, were made for 3 to 4 people, and you want 7, 8, 9, 10 people living in the same house. It's just not there. There's the electricity isn't there. We don't have enough. We don't have enough electricity as is. We don't have enough pipes. We don't have enough water pipes. We don't have enough sewage pipes. You can't just decide, oh yeah, this neighborhood, which was for single family homes, can now be for multifamily homes.
Unless they all start YouTube channels to siphon off all the extra bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Well, are you saying they're making people live like sardines?
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Like our current mayor.
Oh God, he's on his way to jail. Don't trust anyone with 2 first names.
Eric Adams. Yeah, he is on his way. And Mama Frey points out, the man looks like he aged a
His
decade.
girlfriend he's got a 24-year-old woman running the mayoral campaign for the financial engine of the Arsenal of Freedom and the largest and most important city in this country. 24 years old. Who has the wherewithal to do that at that age? Please. She hasn't even made it here yet. She's 24, 25 years old. What a crooked guy. We won't have him to deal with much longer. He'll be hanging out with Cuomo.
I don't know if I have as much confidence in that, Admiral, because I don't know who else who would replace him.
His deputy mayor. There's
Jedi
people in
Bill.
place in line. I believe the speaker of the city council becomes mayor.
Oh my God.
I
don't know who that
Quinn
is.
Still, Christine
I don't know
Quinn's
who that
gone.
is.
How bad could it be?
But
Hey, Bill.
None of it sounds good.
No. I'll tell you what does sound good. What an amazing night I had last night. I want to thank all the 700 people who've joined my channel in the last 54 weeks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I wish I could have been here.
Yeah, well, you know.
Dan Ben. Hello, Dan Ben. That is wonderful. No more birds will get stuck in Dan Ben's fireplace.
Well, they peck their way in, which they eventually will.
That's why it's important to remember to close your flue.
You leave the flue open, crank that fire up so that's like a crucible in there, and burn the birds out.
Making lunch. Just catch
poor
it when it
birds.
drops down, and you got crispy bird.
No, you would have carbon at that point.
Dado Prey decided, I don't know why exactly, but up at the Adirondacks house, Dado Prey hard wired the flue of the chimney open, so it could not be accidentally closed. His thought process was it helped air out the house while we weren't up there. To my knowledge, no birds ever made it into the house.
Maybe he did that because somebody kept closing it and he got tired of smoking out the house.
This one's Googleable, but did you guys hear the story like 10 years ago that they found a World War II, but the bones of a World War II messenger pigeon in the chimney in England of some house, and it still had a message on it? It was so well encoded, it still hasn't been cracked. It was probably like, "Please get us out of here. We're on the beach at Normandy."
I can definitely believe that one.
Yeah, I'd believe it. I don't know if I'd believe it not being cracked, because they would have all the ciphers.
They burned them after the war, Bird. Remember, they found this like 6 or 7 to 10 years ago. The war was over at that point for like 70 years. Aren't we approaching 80 years?
We had like,
maybe it's in Navajo and in code. I think you burned the ciphers after the war so that nobody can look at the underhanded things you were doing during the war. But or what you knew, like say like radar signatures approaching Pearl Harbor or something like that. But what if it was double encoded? Like say it was Navajo and in code, right?
Well, and Navajo wouldn't have been in the UK.
I know. I'm just
but that's interesting in terms of Navajo being used for a coded language. That's absolutely, hey, who knows? Maybe Europe learned a few tricks from the Americans. Come on, sounds reasonable.
They learned baseball from us. Cricket is a reverse import.
Well, that means that baseball was a derivative of cricket.
No, what happens is both societies had the same game that became mashed up together into what the British made into cricket and what we made into baseball. Both societies had a very similar game.
I'd have to look up the etymology.
Last Sunday,
I'll tell you this: you'll find proof of baseball long before you'll find proof of professional baseball long before you find proof of any kind of cricket.
15-minute cities are on the way. Everything you need, from groceries to postal services to shopping and entertainment, within a 15-minute walk from your tiny cubicle apartment. And that, I say, is the definition of hell. The definition of hell. I do not want to live somewhere where everything, even if I could walk, where everything was a 15-minute walk from my tiny cubicle apartment.
Well, eventually it's going to be curfews where now's your time to walk. Now it's your neighbor's time to walk. And they'll go by odd and even numbers. So it'll get to the point where they'll tell you when you have to stay home.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to get to the point to where everything's so overcrowded, they're going to send the dump trucks out to scoop people up to turn them into Soylent Green.
Oh, actually, it's upcycled humans is what they're calling it now. They are starting to use that term.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this.
Uh-huh. World Health Organization's already talking about it. They're saying you're going to be eating insects and upcycled humans.
I don't.
Sounds like crazy talk.
Yeah, I'm absolutely baffled by that one. Where are you getting that from?
World Health Organization. That Klaus.
It has to be damn cute for me to eat
Klaus,
her.
whatever his name
That's
is.
why.
Really?
Who?
So what is this? What is the to what end though?
Well, we don't know, but the World Health Organization does.
You're saying the World Health Organization
Yeah.
has
Klaus
already.
guy.
They haven't been the same since they got rid of Kenny Jones on the drums. I mean, since Keith Moon left the World Health Organization, they just haven't been the same.
What is it?
I'd heard that they'd want us to eat less meat and
That's
start
UN.
eating bugs, but
I think that is
not
that
the cannibalism. I haven't heard about.
Yeah, that's where I think we went.
Jill might be talking about they want us to eat less meat because of that whole methane thing, but My thought is this: why not just encase the cow pastures in a dome and filter the air? If it's that bad, because we have nothing but leftover plastic, just do
The
it.
point is shutting down the farms. That will defeat the purpose of shutting down farms. Is what they're doing. They're shutting down farms and buying up the land.
No.
Wouldn't that end us all up in the novel The Road, though? I mean, what would be the point of having no food?
They want us to
Just
save the
curious.
resources for them, is what it is, basically, when it comes down to it. They think that we're beneath that. We're beneath being able to eat meat and everything else and save the resources for them.
So you're talking Blade Runner 2049 would be our meal. We'd be cooking up some meal grubs with some garlic, and we'd be like all happy that we had garlic.
Well, I guess.
Okay.
Well, garlic, I don't think is so much a problem. It's
they were able to grow that. It's if you saw Blade Runner 2049, everyone just eats grubs. But in the early part of the movie, one guy has it's Dave Bautista. He's got like a small garlic plant, and when he makes the meal grubs, he puts a little bit of garlic on them so they don't taste like bugs. And he's just like, means something to me. The garlic. It's actually much better Philip K. Dick story than the first one. The first one's a better movie. The second one, it's not a good story, but it's closer to Philip K. Dick.
I'm just
I
reminded
tried a
of,
fried cricket once. I didn't like it.
Oh, I've never had. You know how they have those like chocolate covered grasshoppers, or I've never had one of those. But it reminds me of Box from Logan's Run, where it's like the proteins and planktons and proteins from the sea, or whatever it is that Roscoe Lee Brown says. It's awesome. I love Logan's Run. Heavens, there's your dystopic future.
Anyone else think that
insects contain a whole lot more protein than meat?
So do your fingernails. It's because they're made of keratin, man. I would just ask everybody: do you think Logan's Run would do with a good remake? Because imagine what we could do with Carousel now and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen The
plot moves along
Island?
at a better pace?
Have you ever seen The Island, the Michael Bay movie with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson? That's kind of.
But I'm interested in just getting what Pop said, and then we'll go to the island because I
was just going to say Logan's Run had a good storyline, but the pacing was god awful.
And I would have swapped.
I got to admit, I would have
swapped Farrah with the other chick to play Jessica Six because I have a funny feeling that Farrah was going to go further after that movie. Just call me crazy. But
you're crazy.
And I'm Scotty. Scotty, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just there is sort of like a soft remake of Logan's Run.
Is Logan's Run a movie or a TV show?
Yes, it's a movie and a TV show.
It's an adaptation of a book. Yeah,
I've never
it's a book,
seen
a movie,
or
and a
read
TV
any of
show.
it.
It's
2
Michael hours York. Well spent. 2 hours well spent. It's not
the
too
first
bad.
half of the movie is good, but as soon as they meet Peter Ustinov, it just comes to a complete stop.
It does slow down, yes.
Yeah, I would say the movie suffers from like a donut hole in the middle. Yeah, I'd say it has a donut hole in the middle is the best way to put it, and it's not too long. It's a little bit interesting, but it's like it's slower. Nothing's as bad as the TV show. The TV show didn't work at all.
I find Logan's Run the film in 76. I think that is one of the most interesting things because it was the last science fiction blockbuster of the era before Star Wars sort of turned everything on its ear.
Yes.
And you could cut, what's weird about that? You could take some, not all, but some here and there of the people costumed or arrayed for Logan's Run. And they wouldn't stand out like sore thumbs. They wouldn't look perfect, but you could throw them into A New Hope, like a couple of Sandmen at one of the tables in the cantina. They were getting there, like production wise. They realized that they needed a more updated or a more 70s version of the future because what did we have? Classic sci-fi had its own look that was starting to change. The last classic sci-fi look might have been Lost in Space, the original. And I wonder whatever happened to the Lost in Space composer. That guy, he had some talent. The second one, what was his name? Johnny Williams. Be great if he went on to do something.
Hey, Bird, can you draw me backstage? I've got to run downstairs to the store.
Sure, JP.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to take off. I got
for
to
me
get a few
too.
things done.
Deesh, how'd the power washing go?
Shitty.
I was really glad you were able to stop by last night, man.
I'm wore out and tired. Too little of sleep.
It's my fault, but hey, it was worth it. Thank you for coming by to celebrate this
Well-
great victory.
Now I'm going to take off so I can get a couple other things done and maybe take a nap before I maybe stream later. I don't know. See how.
Well,
I
yeah,
feel
you've been
later.
playing your game quite a lot. So what do you got going later?
Either play the game or just have a chill stream. I'm coming up and talk since Kronos gets upset that there's not enough talking going on with game.
Kronos is a demanding audience.
He is. You can't go 5 minutes without saying something.
Too
The
bad he's
chat or
missing
Kronos yells, you're ignoring him.
I know,
Ron
but he
Moore.
has like 500 comments.
Good news, Kronos. I'm going to start gaming. I'll talk like a motherfucker through the whole thing.
I'm back.
I
Sorry,
talked to
when
him. It's just he doesn't want to hear
signal to
game. He wants conversation. Kronos is demanding.
I'm thinking about playing strategy games instead of action games.
Thank you for hanging in here, Deej.
Yep. I'll still be tuned in listening. I'm just gonna get a few things done here in the background that I can't do while I'm on the stream because it makes noise.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Alrighty. And no, I'm not masturbating, people.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Now those zombies can show their faces because Zombie Slayer Deej is not around.
Yeah, take care, Deej. Have a good one.
Well, welcome, Ron Moore.
Hello there.
Says Jenny, a gutter in her prime.
Agater.
Agater. Yes, that's from Logan's Run.
She's foxy.
The blasters
She's
have
also-
a practical effect, which is still quite unique.
She's an American werewolf in London as well. Smoke show.
Jessica Six.
Yep.
She's also in the worst ever Michael Caine movie. It gets confused with Where
Jaws
Eagles
4?
Dare. No, that's worse than Jaws 4, believe it or not.
Wow.
Check out The Eagle Has Landed. It's an America-hating pro-German World War II movie made by the makers of Superman 1. It's like you would never believe these were the same people, but Larry Hagman has the same role as kind of like the goofy American colonel. They give the villain's death to the American officer. The whole movie is just a disaster. But Donald Sutherland's a Yahtzee spy, and he just like fucks his way through this village full of half-wit British people, and she's one of them.
I'll have to check it out.
It's terrible. You'll hate the first 10 minutes so much that you'll like probably be like, Teague was finally right about something. Even you'll have to admit that one, bro.
Well, you don't know my life. You don't know what I like.
No, I don't. But I do see some of the things you tweet.
That's true. This is weird, though.
When somebody retweets you, your tweet becomes exposed. So when someone wants to have someone wants to have a little fun, and oh yeah, lovely, yeah.
Social medias.
Or anti-social media, as it may be. Some people have methods, some have methods.
Well, it's just a fact that Scotty will deliberately like things that he knows are bad sometimes.
Yeah, totes, man. It's part of the fun.
Gee, I figured you'd understand that about me, but hey, let's talk about the explosion of Praxis and how many movies that's ruined in your life.
Besides Stargate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it used again? I guess that's the only one.
I don't know, but if there's another one.
It's used a lot. In fact, I called it the Praxis effect.
I love that Scotty's like, I don't know, but if there's another movie, I'm ready to hate it. It's like, in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, for a brief moment, we see the explosion of Praxis on the TV behind him. It's like, fuck that movie forever.
I'm going to go pee on John Candy's grave now.
Well, as a Canadian, he served
lived for
3
a few
terms.
more years.
It would have been so much
as
better.
your president. How do you not have any loyalty to him? It was him and then Gretzky back and forth every couple of years as prime minister. Or is it president? I forget. Or king?
Monarch. Duke.
Well, now it's a dictator, right? You've got the worst thing of all.
He's a
half
dick for sure.
Take care, Dave
A
G.
half
See you,
Cuban
Dave
in
G.
charge.
Dave G's
Hi,
got to
Dave
head
G.
out.
Sound.
Later, Dave.
Okay.
If your
Here's
country's
Dave.
run as if
Good
your
to see you,
country's run as
sir.
well as my channel, I mean, you've got a half Cuban. Things should be good soon.
Okay, I need to talk to you guys.
Oh.
I need like 5 to 10 minutes. So are you guys gonna hang out a bit, or should I?
Well, Bert, I'm
Yeah,
going
of
to
course.
take my leave because I'm addicted to nicotine and
I can
other
mute.
substances.
You can leave whenever you want. I just
Cheers, man! But I don't want to miss you. I don't want to leave in the
Oh,
middle.
I appreciate
so I
that.
want to say adieu. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the future.
I'll
sounds
mute.
good,
Later, Scotty.
Cheers, guys! It's good to
Seeing
see
you, bud.
everybody.
Yeah, the same for me.
Take-
I got to go pick up my children. They require my assistance. They cannot get home on their own.
Oh,
Gotta go do mommy duties.
Yes.
Good luck, Jill.
Bye.
take
Thanks.
care, Jill.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Bert. I'll keep an eye on if anybody pops in.
Thank you. If anybody pops in or pops off, you guys can hang out a few minutes. I'll be back as soon as I can. Okay, proceed.
But I need 10 minutes. I thought he needed us to shut up so he could unroll a
Yeah, talk. Yeah,
dissertation about
exactly.
something. Yeah, I was already like I
Lay
had my
into one of us.
microphone muted. I had blanked my mind. I was even blanker than usual. But let's take a look. Hey, Dave G. Hello, Yvette. Hello to Last Son of K. Jedi Bill. Good to see you again, my friend. He was there for
Hey,
a while
Bill.
at the party last night, and hopefully he'll be on Saving Star Trek soon. That'll be fun. Hello, Yvette. Ron Marr. I hope I'm not missing anybody. It's good to have you all here. Thanks for showing up. Hit those like and follow buttons for our friend Bird of Prey 5. He's a great YouTuber and a great warrior and a mighty friend.
So, how was that Zindi episode yesterday?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I caught about half of it.
So did I.
I'm more curious. We haven't caught up since this. What did you think of how they tried to weld sense onto the end of that Loki show? Like, almost worked, kind of, but not really. When your logic to fix your show is that the show never happened, that's sort of an admission. But it was less horrible than other episodes, right? When they in episodes 5 and 6, when they erase everything that happened fast, and I called it. They're going to rewind back to episode 1 and just erase the show. And damn it, that's exactly what they did.
Well, yeah, I think they had to pull the reset button because of a certain somebody getting in too much trouble. And
I think the problem was beforehand. I think they got criticized so badly for. Notice they didn't mess around with like jokes, like terrible jokes that killed their own movies. Like season 1 was a bad cell phone. He didn't get kicked in the balls for 20 straight minutes again. I mean, that was the amount of anti-male hatred was like halved, but it was just like the bad taste in our mouth was still there. And they couldn't do anything without being totally like DEI. Like, how many scenes was that female African American? I suppose if she's not British and acting with an accent, we'll call her African American. Hunter in where she didn't even speak. She just looked from Loki to Morbius to Loki to Morbius, and then like they'd pull out for a medium shot, and she just kind of look, into space. Like she was just there, so it wouldn't be two white guys talking a few times. It was weird, but then. Yeah, they just basically erased their own show.
Well, it's not the first time they did it. They erased WandaVision, for God's sakes.
At the end, well,
Voyager did the same thing at the end of Voyager. It was all a hologram.
Oh, Enterprise, you mean? Yeah, no.
Enterprise.
Wait, you talking about Enterprise? Yeah.
Enterprise. Yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
On Enterprise, aren't we free to assume that since the show starts, and nice to see you, Pop, but aren't we free to assume on that final and what should not have been an episode of Enterprise, the final episode
never should have been.
Terra Prime should have been the episode. Jonathan Frakes throws his weight around again, and he gets into an episode playing himself from 15 years earlier, and he looks it. He's aged. He's 22 years older than the guy who started the show. And he and Diana are playing themselves 20 years older than when the episode happens.
And
it's based around. Oh my God. Yeah. He did not take good care of himself. It's like, are you a captain or a pizza chef? But, and he didn't wear anything to cover it up. Like he was off duty. He could have had a smoking jacket on or been going to the holodeck in costume, but they just showed off the fact that he looked like a downhill skier outfit and he was just huge. But that episode, couldn't we write that off to he just went to the holodeck and visited historical stuff? We could write that, and we could write the Borg episode off as not being canceled by First Contact, but specifically the final episode. I think we could write that off as Riker's personal adventure.
I think it's pretty much known that they did that as an FU to everybody for getting canceled. So that episode never should have aired, and they didn't know how to bring the show to an abrupt, because they basically had to fast forward. I mean, the episode takes place 10 years in the future. So I mean, even in
the fans.
Yeah, what's great is the Enterprise crew handled the 10-year fast forward that happened in 1 week of their time a lot better than the Enterprise crew from the Next Generation on the NX-01. Time goes by slower.
Yeah, so I don't even recognize the last episode of Enterprise. That's me,
But it was canon, right?
No,
I guess so.
It depends on your definition of canon, but
it doesn't upset anything, but it's just not a good episode. So I would say it's probably canonical. I'd have to think about it more, but it doesn't destroy anything. It's just a bad episode. Wouldn't we agree?
Well, it kind of does, because we were talking about this.
We saw them mess up the Vulcans the other day. We saw them yesterday last week mess up the Vulcans with that. But because it's less than one Vulcan lifetime that it goes from no use of psionic powers and mind tricks to everybody can do it by the time we get to 85 to 100 years later, which means, Sarek's still around doing this on his own in his basement, not telling anybody, because that was a bad reveal. Almost as bad as the Vulcan space crack was funny and good.
The one thing that pisses me off, if it's correct, is that we were talking about this yesterday, but if Daniels, if everything was reset after what's his name on the season 4 episode 1, then TNG should never have known about the Xindi War. And I think Riker mentions something about the Xindi in that episode. And if
I'll
that's
write that
true,
off to
then
Riker's a
that's
fucking
crap.
idiot. I'll write that off to Riker had TBI when they filmed that, when he was doing that moment. He was confused and he wasn't. Yeah, he was doing an extra heavy. He used one of Worf's exercise programs and he got a concussion. So that's why he was so stupid and made some mistakes when he was talking to Deanna. And oh my God, do you remember the episode where they age ahead Deanna? She has a vampire boyfriend. He's like an energy vampire. How much better looking is that old aged ahead Deanna than the real aged ahead Deanna, who looks horrible? All that evil came out on her face, spiking the football in an entire region. Shame on you, Miranda Sirtis.
Hello, world. I'm back.
Welcome.
I heard something about evil vampire.
Sometimes we age ahead people and we get it right. The example would be like in Excalibur, the aged ahead Helen Mirren looks a lot like Helen Mirren in 1923. We had to wait, but we saw it. In Star Trek The Next Generation, when Deanna has that energy vampire boyfriend, she thinks he's with his grandmother, and then he soul sucks her into dust or whatever he does.
Yeah.
It was or who knows? It could have been like some teenager. It's like, you need a ride. He's just like, he could get inside your mind and start sucking your soul. But when they sucked most of Deanna's soul, the older age ahead Deanna, who's supposed to be 80, looks a lot better than 65-year-old Marina Sirtis. All that evil came out on her face.
With all that wine.
She looks like she probably hits the bottle too. I'm not going to lie. And after what she said, I don't think a lot of people are going to step forward and defend Marina Sirtis. Every woman in Texas thinks she's an asshole.
Well, yeah, and I don't think anybody's defending her.
She has the freedom of speech to say it. We all stand behind freedom of speech. But when your freedom of speech is spiking the football on people who are in pain, and in fact, some died, you know what? There's consequences to your freedom of speech.
Does she have freedom of speech?
Shouldn't be. She doesn't actually have freedom of speech.
I don't think she's an American citizen.
She was in America when she said it.
Well, yeah, but that's true. I guess you don't have to.
If I shoot somebody in England, they don't deport me to America to face charges.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're right.
I'm gonna have to come up with a.
Land.
I'm gonna have to come up with a better term because I'm tired of people immediately thinking freedom of speech means the First Amendment.
Oh, it does.
Oh, here we go. This is what you had warned me about logic. LDG, I love you. You're a friend, and sometimes you just baffle me. And I'm just gonna. What I'm saying right now is go. Tell me why the First Amendment in this country, in the context of America, isn't freedom of speech. And I will not try to counter you too much, but I might say how I feel. But go ahead. I'm really interested in this. Sometimes you fascinate me with your takes.
Bird?
That is an do you know that?
Do you want to open up this can of worms?
No,
I'm
not having it.
This is a door which you might not want to. You might not want to see the extent to which the staircase descends.
I remember when he told us that when AI runs our lives, we'll all be happy. So I'm ready for anything. Go.
Do you remember in Ghostbusters the refrigerator scene? That's basically what you're walking into right now. You're about to open up the refrigerator and
there is no Dana, just Zool.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go. Let's bring on Zool. Let's bring it on. If Bird's okay with that, man, this is his show. Should I open this door, Captain? Should I let down the containment field?
I don't care. It's that LDG is the one who's going to be responding for the next 60 minutes.
I wish I had.
Please place your hand on the lighted pad on the chair.
You have a day to explain LDG.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the thing is, I don't have the freedom of speech to explain the freedom of speech. So I'm definitely going to be held accountable for what I say. So,
if you by that you mean we're on YouTube, yeah. I mean, be careful.
That and the viewers, but
they have a little more
because it's
yes.
It's an ionized debate. I mean, if you're talking about the First Amendment, that only protects you against the government. It doesn't protect you against everybody else.
Let me just say something real quick right here that'll keep us out of trouble. Guys, we're about to give opinions. These are not instructions or any kind of legal advice or any sort of life advice. We're just talking about how we feel, and my friend LDG can't be wrong about what he feels in his heart. With that said, and us being adequately disclaimed, go for it.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean, the First Amendment, it only protects you against the government, and it only protects you against direct. It only protects you against direct action taken.
If you go out in the street, but wait, if you go out in the street with a soapbox and say Jesus is coming tomorrow, and I take a bat to you, I go to jail because of the government. So the government protects you from me too, doesn't it?
Hey,
well, that's
back,
one example. That's one example. The problem is the scope is bigger than that. No, hello, who's that?
What do you mean, who's that? Don't give me that shit.
Oh, hey, JPs. I'm not behind the computer right now. I'm actually trying to clean up after my dog at the moment.
Who the hell I am by the sound of my voice.
I didn't hear you exactly because I was talking. So apology. What's up, JPs? I missed you, man.
I'm just gonna start talking like everybody else does, over everybody else and shit.
LDG was just gonna.
I don't do that. I mute. I don't talk over people.
On what free speech means to him.
And I'll break it down like this. I'm not going to get into it, boring, whatever. I mean, I'm going to be coming out with videos for it. So if you want to get into it more, there's going to be some stuff coming out. But basically, if free speech is supposed to be an unalienable right, that basically, in my eyes, means nobody gets to tell me, nobody gets to define it. If God gave you the right to freedom of speech, it's everyone gets it. It's universal. It's absolute. And it is speech without consequences. Serious as that, but we just don't have the platforms that allow you to exercise that.
If you go to a movie theater and yell riot and yell fire until people run out and get hurt, you'll go to jail though, because that's.
And if you're the idiot, let me tell you something. I hate that. I hate it when people use stuff to fire because I can shoot it down faster than hell. Okay, if I yell fire, right,
in a movie, in a crowd,
whether
wait, lay out the whole analogy in a crowded movie theater.
Okay, in a crowded movie theater, if I yell fire. Whether or not there is or is not a fire, if your fat ass
there is no fire, there is no fire in the.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well,
even if there is a fire, there is a fire, it doesn't matter. Just let me finish. All right, I'm gonna give you plenty of time to freaking tear me apart. Okay, whether there's a fire or not doesn't matter. If your fat ass runs me over because of it, I'm not suing the person who yelled fire. I'm suing your fat ass for running me over and breaking my legs. Okay,
You're losing.
You're supposed to have there are supposed to be rules in place in that building. There's literal rules that you need to follow. Single file line, places to leave if there is a fire. If you run me over recklessly, it's your fault, whether or not it's a fire or not.
Not in that situation.
Well, again, my opinion, and I would still sue you, and then we'll find out in court. But nobody can tell me it is.
You lose a lot of money when
judge.
legal fees and damages. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't recklessly leave. You can't recklessly run people over in a state of emergency. Period.
Yes,
Hello,
you can.
guy.
Look at 9/11 footage and see it for yourself.
No, you can. Okay, so you can do it, but you should be held liable.
Why? You're trying to not die.
Because you're killing people by saving yourself. If you knock me over and I fall off the top balcony, right? Let's say there's a fire, and you know how movie theaters are, right? They go up.
There's no fire.
And usually there's a side. Usually there's like a guardrail on the side. And let's say someone yells fire. You run out of your seat to save your own self. You hit me, and I fall over the edge, and I fall 30 feet to my head, and I break my neck. You're telling me you're not liable?
No, I'm not. And so does the court, and so does the law. But
what,
I mean,
I would need some signed documents from that court that you're trying to say you speak for. But
that would be on the back of the ticket you bought that says you're not going to yell fire, and that you're not going to sue incidental people who didn't break the law, and that you're responsible for yourself. Look at the back of your ticket. There's like 3,000 tiny words when we used to get paper tickets.
And that's fine and dandy. You're still liable if you freaking kill me. I don't care if it's real or not. You don't get to freaking just. You're not lawless just because someone calls fire.
Anybody here think that they would lose a night of sleep killing someone if someone yelled fire and caused them to cause a massive panic? Remember, the situation is predicated on there is no fire. This was yelled maliciously. They set the events in motion. So if I set a house on fire and I run for the edge of the roof and I jump off, and as I jump off, I bump into you and you fall off too. It's an accident. You die, I survive. Does your family have means to sue me, or they sue the person who started the fire? They're on videotape with a Molotov cocktail. That's the hypothetical. Who's both?
Technically you get both, I guess. Yeah, you get both because you still are responsible for your own actions, whether or not
that case has no standing. There'd be civil penalties.
Okay, because only a moron would be in a huge movie theater and think that if someone calls fire, unless you see the fire engulfing the area you're in, and there's no fire alarm going off, and there's no one actually officially saying there's a fire, you automatically come to the assumption that you get the right to frickin' riot?
Okay,
No.
so they have one firecracker. They set it off and they scream gun. There's still no gun. What happens now?
How do you know there's no gun?
You can come up with all you can come up with all the examples you want there. I mean, I get it. Yeah,
Okay.
of course it happened. Everything happened.
According to LDG, regardless of whether there's a fire or not, if you're fleeing an area for whatever reason and you cause the death of somebody from your fleeing, you would be the one responsible.
Stan was right. We should in the chat find your fire, buddy. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do in school. But
Well,
yeah, I don't know,
have to ask,
man.
what
That's
if
shaky.
Well, I have to ask, what if you harm somebody by stepping on and traipsing all over their body? I'd say it's the fault of the person doing the traipsing.
Yes.
Because you don't have to treat somebody
That's
else
not-
like that as an excuse. I mean, you could say, well, somebody yelled fire.
Because
so
then you
I
can
stepped
yell
all
fire
over
and get somebody killed and be completely
That's what I'm
exactly. You can
saying.
set it up to kill somebody.
LDG, I agree with you. I'm saying it's the fault
Yeah.
of the person who does the traipsing, not the one who yells fire.
Exactly. Thank you.
Legally, if we
somebody
know who
tramples
yelled
all over
fire.
you, if somebody says, "Oh, I heard somebody yell fire," so I'm just going to step all over everybody. I don't care who.
But you could
they're
also
an
set it
idiot,
up.
it's their fault.
If Teague was judge, jury, or an execution, you could literally have death by fire, death by calling fire. You know what I mean? And set people up.
That's for the United States Criminal Code.
People would do it.
I just quoted
People will do it.
Court ruling
Okay,
on freedom of speech.
So, Jake, you're saying that if somebody yells fire, it's a free for all. You can just start killing whoever you want on the way out the door.
Exactly.
No, you're saying that. No, you're saying that. I said that if you're running out and you collide with somebody in the confusion, it's not your fault. It's the fault of the initiator, according to our courts. And if you want to,
collision's not going to hurt
go ahead.
Wait a second. Did you not just say it's on
the Supreme Court of the United States?
Did you not just say you signed the ticket? So you signed the ticket. And if you read the ticket and the terms and conditions during a fire, you must follow the rules. Even during a fire, you accept the terms and conditions that you must leave
the terms and conditions by which we
in a single file line towards the exits.
No one said that.
You don't get the right.
I
Yes,
love it.
Check out the terms and conditions of a movie theater.
Don't they do fire drills at preschools?
Yes.
Exit quickly.
Yes, they do.
Single file. Don't step on anyone.
Do not step on. Yeah, don't kill
theater's not a
anybody.
preschool.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's a totally different situation.
No, it's not.
Everything's a totally different situation. I hate it when people say that. Everything is a totally different situation.
Your point. I mean,
Hello,
LDG, I love you.
But
Don't get me wrong.
I love
think
you
it's an
too.
interesting conversation. We have.
I love
different
everybody.
points of
You're
view,
just
and
me, so I got no issue. I'm just saying, you're. I think you're missing a few things. I don't think maybe you're understanding me properly. Maybe I need to sit down and do the homework and come up with all the possible examples, because that's what seems that you're doing. You're pulling up examples. Now you're pulling up getting shot, and I can sit here and we can talk about examples all day long. You said the firecracker and someone gets shot.
I said a firecracker and someone yelled gun. I didn't. Well,
yes, that's another example. So you're using extreme circumstances to justify freedom of speech.
It's happened how many times?
That's an extreme circumstance.
It's commonplace.
It doesn't have. No,
it doesn't happen. Can you differentiate?
It doesn't happen all the time.
That happens here all the time.
T, can you differentiate the sound of firecracker and the sound of, let's say, a 9mm going off, or even a rifle?
I'm not a soldier. My father was.
You don't have to be a soldier.
I'll
be honest. I can't.
I've never heard a gun fired. How would I know?
Yeah, but you've heard a firecracker.
So what? How do I know it doesn't sound exactly like a gun?
Inside a closed space, I don't know that I'd be able to tell the difference.
In a movie theater,
between
with
a firecracker and a
talk
gun.
in the movie theater when there's no noise, it echoes in there. That room is usually engineered to contain and concentrate sound.
The big difference.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
like I said,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
We need the ability.
I was just curious about your answer.
Especially
and like I said,
somebody living in New York City. Okay, we do not hear gunfire that often.
Ever, in my case,
that we can differentiate from a firecracker. Now, once you've heard a gunshot, you might say, "Oh shit, that's what it was about this whole time." But
we have a military veteran here. Pop, wouldn't you say many guns sound quite different?
The guns definitely all have different sounds. You could tell that, for example, here's an easy one. You can tell the difference between the sound of a shotgun than you can a revolver.
Right, the shotgun's like now that I actually have heard.
A machine gun, right?
Yeah,
and
shotgun,
we can
handgun,
tell,
rifle.
And very quickly, if you're a military guy, like let's say you fought in Vietnam or something, you can tell M16s from AK-47s. You can tell. So I mean, that's something that you need some training and experience. That I can't answer that question because honestly, the truth is, I've heard like gunfire like maybe 3 times in my life, always at a range, never out in the wild.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
Hakeem says sometimes I can't hear the difference.
I'm sorry I feel that way. I was just kind of quoting my question, but that's, you have the freedom of thought to believe that.
Well, you got to understand, in my movie theater, if someone yelled fire, immediately everybody would know whether or not that's true or not. So, I mean, it's right. You got to understand, like you have high-tech technology. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but if I built one, you would know. Like you would immediately know. There would be safeties in place so nobody could say fire, and anybody mistaken it, because there's other reasons to say
how
fire.
did-
Fire has
Why
multiple
are we calling
definitions.
nobody say
Guards?
fire?
Yeah,
Huh?
how about maybe no one should just break the law and put other people in danger for amusement, because that's what they're trying to say. You know?
Yeah, but what if someone says fire for some other reason, and then somebody overhears that and
there's a
thinks it
fire
means
and-
fire?
All right, how about
There's
this?
other
If there's-
fire.
if there's
Is
another
the
form
different
of
ways of saying
imminent-
fire.
If there's another form of imminent danger and I pull the fire alarm to get people out, that's not a crime because there was imminent danger. But if there's no danger and I create danger by making people be fearful, that's
Yes, if
on
you-
the person who does it.
absolutely.
legally.
If
And
you're
it's
in a
not on the
theater-
victim. If I run into
Yeah.
you and I knock you over, right? We're both victims of that other person, because if you want to sue me, I'll be like, well, this guy was standing in my way and I was even more scared that I couldn't get away. And then we have cross cases and cross charges, and no one can do anything with anybody. And then 6 or 7 years down the road, with two rich lawyers, we'll settle on the courthouse steps and say, we have our fee, you guys have nothing. There's your justice. So I don't know that it would,
Exactly, and I hate to think you think so little of technology and companies, especially when they can make certain things now that they couldn't. We live in the age right now where fires can be immediately confirmed, for God's sakes. Okay,
And
I
if
mean, it's a
anybody-
safety issue that
Maybe
the
they can
owner
maybe
of the
confirm.
theater can put.
Those things can be hacked, though.
Everything can be hacked. Well, unless you do it right. But
Okay.
again, if you're going to sit here and use excuses and examples,
No, I'm not using excuses.
we're never
That's
going to
just
get
being-
anywhere, because
And I just-
your
just-
logic,
Yvette, I just want
your
you to know,
logic
LDG
makes it
and I
illegal to
are
do
friends,
anything.
so don't worry
I love
about
it.
it. Like, we're cool. We're cool. Yeah, and LDG is he's a frisky debater who does like to get his point of view across. He may not change my mind, but I respect him just as much. I like LDG. He's a cool guy.
Okay, I do appreciate that.
See, we're
No,
paying
there's
it
no
out.
rancor between you and I've always thought you're okay. You have some strange opinions, and I will try to elicit them because they stun me. But it's not like I dislike you. I think you're cool. You're all right.
Well, I'd still save you in a burning building, but
Thank you.
I mean, like
and
I
I
said,
wouldn't leave
it's-
you behind either, my friend. No way. Never.
I wouldn't.
This is the Birdo Pray 5 show where nobody gets left behind in a burning building. If
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
wouldn't
if
argue
we
with
can
somebody
help.
I don't like. Exactly.
If we can help.
There you go. Yeah. So Yvette, we're sorry if it sounded passive aggressive, but we're friends. This is just kind of good natured cajoling.
Okay. If we're going to be absolutely candid here, okay, we're friendly acquaintances. I don't throw the word friend around frivolously.
We're friends in a YouTube
Okay.
sense, but
And
yeah,
that's
that's
me.
fine.
I
That is
barely
fine.
know the guy, but again, he's another version of me, so I automatically have to give him the same route I give everybody else, and he seems like a nice guy.
We just got a
Yeah,
donation.
we're okay. Hey, all right.
Prometheus donated $1.49
Oh, lovely.
and says AI has cured cancer, making great movies, will stop fires, and will send man to land on the sun. And maybe next time, LDG will listen to me about not eating lobster all the time.
Oh, God. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Check out crawfish. It's the less fatty lobster. It's not as bad for you.
Oh yes, the cockroaches of the sea.
Well, so
But,
the
I mean,
first
I'll
guy to eat a
also,
lobster. What went through his mind, right? Looking at that thing, it's like, maybe if I stick it in fire. Like, what would they? How did that happen? Someone must have been really hungry.
Yeah, I'll admit that maybe I definitely need to work on my way of speaking. That's why I'm going to be looking for YouTubers to join Free the Net soon to do the speaking for me that can do it better, like what Laura Loaded was doing yesterday during our Q discussion.
The Q from Star Trek.
We were talking about the Q's powers, and I'm sorry. No, actually, the one thing he was talking about when we were talking about whether or not the transporter actually kills you. But if you're all the same person, then it doesn't.
Oh, no.
But if you believe in
Oh,
other beliefs, then yeah, it does kill you.
Wait, this one makes sense to
And
me,
he-
actually. I hear what
he
he's
put
saying.
it-
If you make a perfect identikit of the person who doesn't remember that there was another person before that, like this one I actually get. Okay, this one makes sense. It's not what the show tries to tell us happens. The show is very much against the idea that you die every time, but I get what you're
Professor
saying. Yeah, that
Granny
makes sense.
Specs is in the house. Welcome, Professor. And welcome Darren Wagner to the panel.
Hey!
And Admiral Teague with a $2 super sticker. Thank you, Admiral Teague.
Well, Kevin here ask a few uncomfortable questions. Might as well throw $2 up there.
Appreciate it.
And
Welcome,
everyone
Darren.
else should think about maybe buying a super sticker or a super chat for a good friend, Bird of Prey 5's. Great guy.
Famous Bearer. Welcome, Famous Bearer. Says, hello, beard people. What's going on? And Resolute Germ. Gorilla. Not Resolute. I looked at the green avatar.
He's right.
Gorillas,
right.
Random Thoughts. I'll take your lobster and raise you an oyster. That piece of snot looks delicious. Wow.
I will say that lobsters got slightly unattractive to me when I found out recently that they piss out their face. Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that lobsters pee out of their face. Nobody? Just dead silent, really?
I don't want to.
If I had
no response.
Hey, shut up! If I had a cricket sound LDG, I would play it.
The Traveler is here. Welcome, the Traveler. Says, damn it, Bird. I wish I was at work so I could join the panel. Sorry about that, Traveler.
Oh my God.
And last on the K, LDG's true nemesis is here. Hi, Darren.
That be Darren?
Yeah.
I don't think
Probably.
LDG has a nemesis. I think he gets along with everybody.
I get along with LDG, yeah. Pretty cool guy.
I get along with all you guys. It's just that the level of enjoyment that comes along with it and the scope of enjoyment. With some people, it's a hearty ha ha ha. With other people, it's 6-bullet Russian roulette.
I'm going for the ha ha ha. It's a super soaker. There's a weapon in play, but it's just a super soaker. And so it's just water.
My God. Those first summers with the first super soakers. The Super Soaker 50.
Yeah.
Then the 100.
What used to be
Holy
fun
shit.
with the Super
It
Soaker.
pissed me off. My
is you-
parents got me. Oh,
You fill it with your pee, and then you drive by shooting
Oh,
kids.
God, no.
dude.
Why would you?
Well, that's better. That's better than
growing
what
up
some people did in
between-
Florida because they would
Yeah.
fill it
Better
up
than
with acid,
Bleach.
and
acid.
you
How
start
does it not
tripping
eat the
balls.
plastic?
No,
that's
not
kind
that
of
acid. Yeah,
Oh.
different kind of acid.
The fun kind, or sometimes the fun kind. Gotcha.
That's not fun.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't think
Drugs
I
are
need to do that. I'm
bad.
too old to take acid anymore. I've lived too long a life. I have too much to think about.
Never, ever anything like that. I couldn't imagine. Try it
I could
now.
still, I'd still eat like a half-eighth of mushrooms.
That's straight up poison.
the most fascinating
straight
depiction
up.
of a LSD
No,
trip I've ever seen was in
psilocybin.
Mad Men. You know, where the guy's in the bathtub and he thinks he's at a Yankee game or something.
Yeah.
Now I'm questioning every Yankee game I've ever been to.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was in the hospital on whatever drugs they had me on, there were times I thought I was, completely different, ridiculous, hard to describe places. But I can't imagine that holds a candle to like an acid trip or something.
Darren, I
The
think
worst
that
is-
would be better reversed if he was at a Yankee game and then he thought he was in the bathtub.
Yeah, the only thing I learned from that scene, in terms of like if I ever wanted to do LSD ever, is apparently you're not supposed to look in the mirror after you.
Don't do that. No, don't.
Don't look in the mirror
have
after you've
issues with
taken L-
mirrors. No.
Yeah, think about Star Trek: The Deadly Years. Looking when that woman looks in the mirror. That's how bad that is. You don't want to do that.
I didn't have an issue with a mirror, but I did have an issue with food. You don't want to look at food because
it looks back at you.
Yeah, it looks back at you. Yes, it does.
You want to load up and eat
like
before you take it.
It'd be like those French's mustard commercials with the sandwiches, like, that's not French's.
Yeah.
I could tell you a story with a turkey leg that didn't end well.
Oh God, I tripped out on Thanksgiving one year and I had to go to my aunt's house and all the food was jumping around the plate. The corn was running around the edge. It was just horrible.
It's like one of those children cartoons where the food starts jumping out your plate.
It was a lot like that, yeah.
Remember that cart? Remember that? Like it was like Banster Bears, whatever. It was a story about a pancake, a live pancake running around, and it would run from people trying to eat it. You guys remember that?
No, but it sounds like the kind of mistake that they would make.
Yeah, no, I remember that when I was a kid, back like when we're talking old school, 80s.
A Day in the Life of a Food was a sketch that you'd see sometimes on Turkey Television on Nickelodeon, where a guy would be eating foods and there'd be somebody just off camera as the voice of the food as it was being eaten and screaming, and we thought it was funny.
That's like a riff on Hitchhiker's Guide, right? It's like, restaurant at the end of the universe where they breed the cow that wants to be eaten and it begs you to eat it. It's like, oh, come on, I've been force feeding myself for quite some time. My liver should be extremely tender.
All right, all clean.
Yeah, the worst thing was driving when it happened. Gonna make it home. Nope. I was seeing red lights every 10 meters.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a motor vehicle on that. Well, maybe as a passenger, but maybe that might not even be the greatest idea.
So like drive stop.
I'll stick with mushrooms in my old age. I can't deal with chemical acid. God knows who made it. Worst thing that'll happen with mushrooms, take a couple at a time, make sure they're not going to kill you, and then you take a few more until you feel good and they'll lay off.
18th birthday, my friends made me pizza with that on them.
Oh God. Well, I mean, actually, that's pretty good because that means it took a minute. Because if you take it with food, it's actually better.
That and the best thing I ever saw was
healthier, I should say.
I saw some guy crush it up with a mortar and pestle and put it through a tiny little funnel into blank capsules that you would use, like vegetarians use to make their own vitamins. And he crushed up an eighth into like 5 pills. And so you could take them without having to taste that horrible taste. And he's like, they're designed to open up your duodenum instead of your stomach. I'm like, yeah, whatever that means. And like a little longer than usual after it takes them to hit you. Next thing I knew, I was just like plastered for the next 4 or 5 hours. It lasted a lot longer too.
All right, I think that's enough of the mind-altering conversation.
I think I neglected to mention when I mentioned the $1.49 donation earlier. It was LDG donated $1.49. Now I know it probably wasn't LDG, but
yeah, dude, I'm broke now.
It was listed as being donated by LDG, and I think I forgot to mention that.
Sure, man.
Oh God. So LDG, I saw that 4090 with the water block on it.
Yeah.
It was on like Amazon or some shit. I was looking at
the MSI one.
Yeah, the MSI one. 2,500 Canadian. No,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I got mine for 2,100 American.
What the
I got so lucky, dude. I got so lucky. You do not know anybody who was in the underground. You know what I'm talking about. I scoured the net up and down, left and right for a scalped 4090 that could be delivered to my house. And I found one at the last minute. One left. Well, I don't know if there was one left, but I think there was 2 left actually.
Like 2,500. That's a good used car.
Well, 2,500. Canadian is like what, 3,000 American, or is it the other way around?
It might be closer to 4. The exchange rate's been in like flux really badly the last few weeks.
I go by like 78 cents just to be safe.
Yeah, let me take a look. I'll look at the computer on that one.
Famous bearers and bird of prey, you are hanging out with the wrong kind of people right now. I don't know if I was.
That's why it's such a good conversation. Yeah, $1.36 Canadian takes to buy $1 American. So you're real close. I guess it's between 64 and 74 cents, something like that, depending. And it's dropping like a stone. By the way, the Canadian dollar. It is absolutely a disaster.
In the early 90s when it was almost at par.
Yeah, for a while there was a par.
I was like, I'll go to the States
this weekend. While.
Yeah.
It was higher.
Yeah.
There was a time when it was really higher for a little while. Was that during
really
Clinton?
Depressing years? It was
early
during
Clinton
Bush.
Years, Bush the father.
No,
George
Bush.
George W. Bush.
Bush W.
It was mission accomplished Bush.
Yeah, mission accomplished. The dollar had collapsed.
Yeah,
he
wasn't so good at some stuff, right?
It was a sad day to have to look up the Canadian dollar. Like, what the fuck?
We're bigger
how is the Canadian dollar worth more than the American dollar?
Was it?
It made no sense.
And that was like the same year that the Toronto Blue Jays won the pennant in baseball.
I mean, our entire lives in New York.
What was going on?
We would get Canadian quarters, and it would piss
they're
us
useless.
off.
You can't tell them apart until you really look at them, although they weigh just a little less.
They'd come in, and we'd get it from change at fast food places and stuff, and like, oh fuck. But along the New York State Thruway, they had this policy of accepting Canadian coins with American on a 1-to-1 ratio, even though it was completely bullshit. It was 1-to-1 because we got a lot of Canadian traffic through. So if you kept your Canadian coins, you could spend them on the New York State Thruway just like real money.
That's why I want a wall across the border.
That sounds like Trump talk.
The Random Menace is 2008. Remember when no one was filming in Canada? All the shows were on hiatus.
Well, that was only a few weeks ago. That was last week. Well, all the shows were on hiatus, right, because of the strike. So I guess what they're saying is no one. And the Orville and Bad New Track film there, Vancouver, is a huge filming location.
Yeah, anything sci-fi related, the network is generally shot in Vancouver.
Right.
That's where Phillips Gaming is employed, I believe. He's a background actor there.
Joseph, did you find your cat yet? Any chance? Any updates?
Joseph has a cat.
Joseph lost a cat.
Cats.
He has more cats.
He has many cats.
Yeah.
More cats for Joseph.
Hashtag more cats for Joseph.
And he's like the lady from Gremlins, just male.
And foreign.
And foreign.
Stanley says, Bird Prey, I just noticed all of the Police Academy was filmed in Toronto. Solid.
You know what else is filmed in Toronto as Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yes.
Right. What little of it we see in the city, there's like 2 minutes when he gets off that boat. He steps onto the dock and the movie ends when he finally gets to Manhattan. I'm like, this should be called Jason Rides a Riverboat from a lake. How did he get from that lake to Manhattan? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It's weird, yeah.
No, but I mean, like the boat goes by the camp, and it's like the camp is on a lake, which implies that there's no river. The river, like usually rivers terminate in a lake. It made no sense. Let's just put it that way.
Random Man says, guys, Lehman Brothers and the market crash. That was when the U.S. dollar was lower than the Canadian. Yeah, it still wasn't good.
Would it be the Enron thing happening too? Just like it
Yeah, that
looked
would
like
have all been.
Oh, because that
been around that time.
that blew the roof off a bigger scandal for about a year there before they took some steps to prevent it. It looked like nobody would have any money to retire ever, and the entire country like freaked out for good reason. They somehow rectified it. Don't ask me if some people got hurt or not. I think if you worked for Enron, you were shit out of luck.
DJ Ronnie G is in the house. Welcome.
Hello, my friend.
Well, my friend.
Hello there. Good to see you.
And
that works like that. That's really
And
kind of
black and
cool.
white.
Oh, there we go. Now it looks like he's
No,
transmitting
that's
from
my
like a
thing. You
spaceship.
can't do that. That's my thing.
Yeah, I know. It was your thing. And then I just have one effect.
The
that's not
sepia
on the
looked a lot
camera.
better.
There we go.
Yeah, I would
That's
agree.
in a cave. Canada has caves.
That is
This is
really
how I
kinda
used to
cool,
stream. I used to
DJ.
stream in sepia. My earlier videos.
I'm gonna give you.
That was back when
my
I was
opinion.
doing videos like this and stuff. Hey guys, what's going on?
The sepia is really aesthetically cool. It's very different.
Sepia.
Sepia, sorry.
I'd say sepia.
I know. I feel like I'm in safe territory, but conflict avoidance.
Good.
I've ruffled enough feathers for one visit.
You're totally
Oh,
good,
come
dude. And it's
All right, I'll dig down deep and be a little more controversial.
Poking the bear.
You're gonna
and
have to.
running away is fun.
You have a high hurdle to jump if you want to be more controversial than half the stuff I say.
That's why I feel safe here,
still
my
working.
friend.
Of course, it's not working.
Darren, are you having tech issues?
No.
No, I'm just checking things out. I had to take a color photo of something not too long ago, and I never changed it.
Oh, I couldn't. So
Hey,
I guess it was
JP's on camera.
AJ camera's on.
Face reveal.
Yeah.
Forehead reveal.
There we go.
It's a stupid
There you
camera
go.
that just clips on.
I love JP's because he's got the perfect radio voice. Like he doesn't
Radio.
look like his voice at whatsoever.
No, he sounds like a trucker on a CB radio.
I was gonna say he looks like a trucker on a CB radio. He sounds like freaking Howard Sternish. Well, maybe not
don't
Howard Stern. But...
Don't insult me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have some chick in the background
Pardon
riding
me.
a bass speaker. And me going. Goes quiet.
Apparently, they built an entire town. What is that? Stan Lee says they built an entire town north of Toronto, used it for Reacher Season 2, and also used in the last Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode.
That makes sense. Although maybe not the last episode. Are you thinking the one where they go back to Earth and they're definitely in Canada and the script is messed up.
Oh,
she keeps
God.
saying we're in Toronto and they walk past the sign that says Toronto and Kirk's like, so now that we're in New York, he says it like 4 times.
Yes, we see the T-shirt, Darren.
Not too subdued, is it?
No.
That's fine. I'll just zip it up there if it makes you feel uncomfortable. You don't like my flat Earth cleavage.
Get one. I want to get one that says "pussy eater."
I'm convinced the moon is flat, but that's a different controversy. I don't touch the Earth thing. People have strong opinions, but the moon, I'm fairly sure it's flat.
It's flat and made of cheese.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
There will come a day when I make a hamburger large enough to fit the moon on it.
Does it ever go through anyone's head that we built the pyramids like allegedly 4,000 to 6,000 years ago without block and tackle, but mankind still can't make a worthwhile lunch sandwich that doesn't fall apart halfway through being eaten?
Lunchables.
I find that if you crush the sandwich, it stays together.
Or put
That
butter
would
on the
probably
bread.
help me. The
hell's
butter's kind of like increases your friction. Like it's like the mayonnaise, like on a turkey club. Like you're loving the sandwich, but all of a sudden it's starting to like come apart and like, wow, I've eaten like 2/3 of the bread and only 1/3 of the meat, and you got to like eat in a circle to try to like even it out.
Well, supposedly the butter is so the sauce, be it mayonnaise or mustard, doesn't soak through the bread. That's what butter's supposed to act as a shield. It's a thin layer.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I guess I
Darren
should
has
tell them
something
it's a jelly.
Darren has something against mayonnaise.
No, I was raised in a house where that Miracle Whip was called mayonnaise, and I didn't know the difference. So I went in the Navy, and I pointed to the Miracle Whip, and said, "Hey, can you pass me the mayonnaise?" And the Italian across the table from me looked at me like Al Pacino. His eyes got really wide, but then like he was outraged. But then his voice got real high and squeaky. Like, did you just call Miracle Whip mayonnaise? And like, yeah. I was like, I heard there were people like you. I've never seen one before.
You had your pineapple on a pizza moment, huh?
I had a roommate when I was in the service named Camacho. He was from Puerto Rico, and he would go. We would split a pizza, but it had to have pineapple on it. So I learned to like pineapple on the pizza.
Miranda Menace says, according to string theory, the moon is made from string cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Yeah, I was partially right.
You bet. Can we get a ruling?
Hey, I'm just curious, Bird. Everyone's talking about toppings on their pizza. As New Yorkers, we get much different pizza than anyone else in the country. I would just ask. I like pizza flavored pizza with no additives. Do you just basically get pizza, or do you like toppings? Toppings are an out of town thing.
Generally, I just get plain pizza. If I do get a topping, it's usually mushroom or what they call it. They call it cheeseburger, but it's really just meatball.
Right,
topping,
meatball.
But it's just.
And if you
beef.
get extra cheese, that's
ground
that's
beef.
still more pizza. Ground beef. See, that's it. Outside of New York, people need to put toppings on their pizza because the pizza is just the first part of the equation. It's like a taco shell. Like in New York, the pizza it's actually a complete meal. New York regular pizza, that wedge-shaped slice of the Neapolitan pies. It's not pizza as the Italians know it either, but it's I don't know, that and the bagels. They say it's the water here. You don't need to do anything with it. Pizza in itself tastes amazing in New York.
Real
It's got
pizza,
all
you
sorts of
don't
other
have
problems.
to fold it in half.
You don't have to, but it's like it'll survive the fold. Brooklyn fold will work if it's a good slice. But you're right. Yeah.
Sloppy, disgusting.
We had a family that had a pizzeria in New York City that moved their whole operation to Wisconsin to avoid high taxes,
and their pizza was terrible because they couldn't get water from New York.
Well, that was the first time I ever had New York's pizzeria style pizza before. And
you didn't have New York pizza style. You did not have New York pizza. Well, style, yes, okay, yeah. Because the thing is, I guess it's prohibitive to do this, and maybe it would cost $60 a pie, but people might pay for it. Open up like New York's pizza delivery, like NYPD, New York's finest, somewhere like in Wisconsin and like the Mall of America. I've been there. You know what? If they could ship in the dough pre-made and only cook it there, you would solve that problem of the bad water in the pizza, and you would solve the problem of shipping water, which is prohibitively expensive.
One of my favorite parts of the movie Iron Man is when what's-his-face brought pizza from New York all the way to California for for Tony Stark. He just digs in.
Yeah, Tony Stark's always thinking with his stomach. The first thing he wants in the first movie is he wants a cheeseburger. And at the end of Avengers, he's like, "Who wants shawarma?"
Yeah, he's into that. But no, just because I brought pizza from New York doesn't mean I have bad news. Obadiah says no.
Okay, just a heads up. I have a phone call coming up with a doctor. So we have like 10 minutes
Boo earns.
Before we're headed to a hard stop.
Oh, come on. What do you need to talk to a doctor for?
I
Don't
agree.
answer that. Don't answer that.
I probably don't, but nevertheless,
LDG's
it's
been
required.
volunteering to run the stream.
That's what WebMD's for.
Sorry, guys. I got the underground talking and you guys. I heard my name. What?
No, I was saying we got 10 minutes.
Looking around.
10 minutes until this stream is ending.
Okay.
It's 3:30, so 3:40.
Well, you know where the stream never ends, right?
That's true. The stream never ends.
Unless you're sleeping while we're trying to watch a movie.
Okay, that one time.
Wow. Last Son of K has an amazing observation here about apples. Is it true? I guess. And by the way, the apple we have today, is that the apple even of 100 years ago? Because isn't it true they found a cookbook from like 1918 and nothing was reproducible because we don't have the kind of berries and grapes and other things. We can't make the kind of jelly they used to make, et cetera, et cetera.
Maybe.
We will be soon because anything that's distinct we can most likely bring back later.
Last Son of K, where did the American apple, the apple that we think of the American apple, the one we eat now, the not the Golden Delicious, but like the big red apple or either one, is that from Europe, my friend? I guess there was a Roman emperor who only ate the apples off the tree in his backyard because he was afraid to get poisoned. So not suitable for eating or baking. Many of the seeds that originate the apples we eat now come from the UK and Europe. Are you saying that like we hybridized them here, or are you saying that the US? Okay, I think I know what you mean. So like the apples as we knew them in America when we got here, they were okay to feed animals, maybe like cow corn or something. But the European apples, those are the ones that are more fit for human consumption, and people would enjoy eating them rather than having a nightmare.
Come from orchards like Macintosh and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the grapefruit is a relatively new creation. They didn't have grapefruit like 200 years ago.
Broccoli and cauliflower are also man-made.
I had heard that there used to be many more variety of apples available, but as farmlands were purchased, we got less and less variety, and now there's even less. Sorry, I got a phone call, of course.
That's Papa's saying what I heard, because the apples we have now, they get like 2 more harvests in a year of them. That's why we have the apples we have now.
Yeah, that and controlled atmospheres, controlled atmospheric, storage.
Storage may play into it. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, you're right. So the cookbook from 100 years ago, they couldn't make any of the foods anymore. There was no way you couldn't.
I don't believe that.
Well, I do believe that, the seeded orange is going to be very hard to find to make that orange pie that they wanted to make, or, that kind of apple that's been kind of left by the wayside. You're going to have a very hard time, finding it. That certain kind of flour from the wheat that gets less harvests every year. Good luck. I kind of believe it. I think it's an exaggeration. I would say that we compromised most, couldn't make some, and still could outright make a few. I'd say it was a mixed bag, but I think there was something to it.
Thank you, famous error.
Sorry.
He says, thank you. Good luck with your doctor. I'm glad you're taking care. I appreciate it. This is one of those regular scheduled visits, virtual visits. It's nothing unexpected type thing.
Hopefully your doctor's close by. I just got a phone call. They want me to see one that's 90 minutes away. And I told him, well, just make sure it's not one of those appointments where he says, hello, nice to meet you. Now let's reschedule you for later.
Yeah, pull a Chris.
This is virtual.
Oh, sure. Fortunate. Yeah, very lucky.
Well, I'm trying to wonder why my doctor still pays for expensive office space in Manhattan when he can do that.
Last Son of K brings up something I was attempting to bring up earlier, was that the Johnny Appleseed story talks about those were European apple seeds for the edible kind that he planted supposedly across the United States.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if he did everything they said, but they were able to ascribe those actions to a real guy. a documented enough guy, right?
Yeah. There was probably a guy who did something similar, but it had to come from somewhere.
You know what? He happened onto a huge bag of apple seeds, and he just walked around. Was like, "I'll give you this handful of apple seeds if you give me something to eat today. Let me just sleep in the barn." And they're like, "All right, fine."
Well, I mean, he's the most believable of the American myths, like Paul Bunyan and Pecos Bill and all that stuff.
Wait, you don't believe there's a 300-foot tall lumberjack? I mean, I'm having trouble. Wait, I thought I knew you.
Or the woman that's riding side saddle on a catfish, Slewfoot Sue.
A catfish.
Yeah, Slewfoot Sue, the girlfriend of Pecos Bill. When she was introduced, she was supposedly riding down a river on the back of a catfish. Now, catfish do get huge, especially around dams. But
same with sturgeon.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think you're gonna be riding side saddle on one. But the Disney cartoon, they showed her it was like skipping through the river.
Oh, I remember that cartoon. That one also covers like Paul Bunyan, right? Or it's from the same series, like a few different American myths.
Yeah.
Help me out with Pecos Bill. I don't remember him at all. Out of the three of them, I got no memory of Pecos Bill.
Pecos Bill was like your ultimate Marlboro man. He would take to riding a mountain lion for a horse, and then he had like a rattlesnake for a lasso, and I think he was the guy who with a regular lasso was able to like lasso a twister and tame it, and
that sounds familiar. Yeah. Would he be like a Southwest area myth?
Yeah, he's a cowboy type myth. But Paul Bunyan gets a lot of his background from Norse mythology with Ymir, and how Ymir was the first creature. He was a giant, and then there was
that makes so much sense, though. Think about who settled that area.
Yeah, by drinking the milk of a giant ox or a bull or whatever. So
blue.
There's that. Well, Paul Bunyan's was blue. I don't know what if Ymir's was, but I think a lot of that comes from that stuff. So there was a movie that came out years ago where they all came to life. I think Patrick Swayze played
Disney's Tall Tale.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay. I didn't see it.
Okay, guys. Well, I think we've made it to the end of the stream.
Oh.
Thank everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Pop, what do you got going on?
I have open panel rumblings from the lab. Saturday, Sunday, the classic Lost in Space we cover. Monday, Lost in Space. Tuesday, Sci-Fi Horror Theater. We're going to do Starship Troopers. And Wednesday, we cover Gilligan's Island. Thank you, Bird, for having me here.
You are most welcome. LDG, anything you want to?
Yeah, freethenet.org/underground, guys. Want to hang out? See you guys there. Thanks, Bird. Appreciate it. Everybody, Teague, love you. Everybody.
Love you, man. The difference of opinion is what makes the world go around. We can disagree without being disagreeable, my friend. It's
I guarantee you. I guarantee you don't have the entire scope of everything because I don't know how to speak properly, but we'll get there.
Neither do I. I'm still working on listening.
I have a feeling that
buddy.
I have a feeling if you ever did come to the platform once it's done, I think you'd love it.
I can't wait for you to be finished so I can. I'm looking forward to visiting. I'm looking forward to promoting it.
Cool. JP's, anything you want to say?
No.
Okay.
My usual, nothing.
Darren, anything you got going on?
I got a video. It's just about ready.
Finally.
I was going to do it 2 weeks ago, but then the holidays crept up on me. Yeah. So that'll be.
Okay, we'll be on the lookout. And Admiral Teague.
Honestly, just want to thank the 691 people who've joined my channel over the last year. And I'll be back tomorrow with more special surprises. Who knows what you're going to get tomorrow on Saving Star Trek at 6 p.m. Eastern after Comic Relief Crusader.
Wait, didn't you say 700 earlier?
7 p.m., yeah. No, 6 p.m. It's 7 p.m. on Sunday. Sundays are 7 and Fridays are 6.
No, he means the amount of subs. He said 700 earlier.
Yes.
690, 700. It's 692. It went up a couple since I've been here. Thank you, whoever joined.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Bird and panel out.
Potato.